The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. My rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah, the Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on cop. The Most High is my rock. No time for cupcake and the cutling. Hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites are coming. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button. And I feel sorry for you if you think the Lord is bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Homie, where's your fruit? If the Most High is your rock, him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you keep the Bible on cop? The Most High is my rock.
TK.
Rock.
Shalom. Shalom, everybody online. Welcome to another live class. We're here in Houston. It's Saturday. It's 10 a.m. We're at 8524 South Brazos Boulevard, Houston, Texas. 77071. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday. Monday and Wednesday from 7 to 9. Friday, 6 to 8. Saturday, 10 to 2. We're in Virginia at 2610 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23517. They're there every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 7 to 9. We're in San Antonio at 4444 Walsham Road, Suite 201, San Antonio, Texas, 78218. They're there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7 to 10, Saturday, 10 to 2. If you're in those areas, if you're local, feel free to join us for those class days. You can watch us here live on YouTube under the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. If you search ISBHBK in the YouTube, you can pull up all of our channels. Okay, we have a new channel, it's Hidden Truth Bible Class, where we do our cable shows and new shows. So look out for that. It's already up. We got a few videos up. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We got our ISBHBK Kids class. Watch previously recorded kids classes. Or you can have your kids come to class on the Sabbath and they can get class live. For the kids in the back, today they're doing it from 11 to 12, right? Usually it's from 2:30 to about 3:30, about an hour. We have some upcoming feasts. We got Purim, that's March 6th and March 7th. Okay, so that's Friday and Saturday. We will be observing the feast days, the Feast of Purim. Then on Sunday, April the 12th, we will be having the Passover in San Antonio. She'll put the address up on the screen. It's La Fontana Springs Event Center, 27618 Natural Bridge Caverns Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78266. She's going to put a link in the chat. If you're planning on attending, please RSVP. Okay? We sent out a message about Passover garments. If there's any brother that wants a Passover garment that plans on attending the Passover, please hit us up so we can know. That's what they're going to be working on from here on out. I've seen some designs, they look good. They look real good, they look real tawab. So once they get all the final details and everything out, we'll let everyone know pricing. If you need to reach a teacher, you can reach me. My number is 303-557-8979. I'm here in Houston. Or you can reach Priest Kazakia. He's in Virginia at 281-707-2737. We have our business, we have our website, sweetambiance.com. All right, www.sweetambiance.com. You can, if you'd like to support the school, you can do so. Get you a nice fragrance, bath bombs. We do hand sanitizers. We do candles, deodorant. We do it all. So check out the website. Or if you just like to donate for the Passover, towards the lamb or towards the location, we have a Wells Fargo, and we also have our Google Wallet. All right, and she's putting all this all up on the screen while I'm talking. That way y'all can see it. What did I miss? Yeah, Mashaba does Blog Talk Radio out of Albuquerque every Tuesday and Thursday at 9:30. Watch out for that. Listen out for that. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the announcements. That's it for the announcements. So we're gonna get into this fantastic reading. It was fun last week. It was a good reading. We're going over the 10 plagues, right? So we're gonna finish it up. But before that, we're gonna do the opening prayers. We're gonna do the opening prayers and then we'll get to the reading. So Imadyam, Wapanya, Padum. Rise and face the east. Pardon me for my stuffiness. I'm a little bit still under the weather, but I'm here. Let's get through it.
Barakayawa,
Bahasham Yahushai,
Hashem Yahushai,
Hawa'a, Natalanawa,
a
Awar, Zayawam,
the water,
Aman.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name Yahushai, that gives to us the light this day. Thanks, so be it.
And the light represents the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Most High. Matthew 5:16. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Barakatah Yahweh. Bahasham Yahushai. Hawa'a. Natalanawa. Rayachacha. The water. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name Yahushai, that gives to us sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
And the sweet Savior represents the frankincense and myrrh. It says our prayers go up to the Most High like a sweet Savior. You see that in Psalms 141 and verse 2. Oh yeah, pile that up. Get all them demons out. There we go. There we go.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahasham Yahushai. Hawa'a. Natalanawa. Sabbath. Bashalom. The water. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
This is Psalms 121. Aynasha,
Aynasha,
Ayam Yam Yad,
Ayam Yam Yad,
Al Haharim,
Ahorim,
Naaya,
Naaya,
Wabuaa,
Wabuaa,
Izaria,
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 Wabuaa,
Wabuaa,
By Yahweh,
by Yahweh,
Sha'aisha,
Sha'aisha,
Shemayim,
Shemayim,
Wa'aratazah,
Ba'aratazah,
La'ah,
La'ah,
Yamathan,
Yanathan,
Lamawat,
Lamawat,
Regalia,
Regalia,
Yala'ah,
Yala'ah,
Nawam,
Nawam,
Shashawamar,
Shashamimar,
Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamaria,
Shamaria,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Tazalia,
Tazaria,
Al,
Al,
Yam Yam Yah,
Yam Yah,
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 Hashamash,
Hashemash,
Yala'ah,
Yala'ah,
Akaya,
Akaya,
Bayawam,
Bayawam,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Halabana,
Halabana,
Ba'alayala,
Halabana,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Yashamaria,
Yashamaria,
Makal,
Makal,
Ra,
Ra,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Napasha,
Napasha,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Yashamar,
Yashamar,
Awalakia,
Awalakia,
Wabawaaya,
Wawalaya,
Wa'aitan,
Ma'aitan,
Wa'aid,
Wa'aid,
Iwalam,
Awalam,
Aman.
Aman. This is Psalms chapter 1, verse 21. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and forevermore. Amen.
Aman.
Amen. Amen.
Shema Yasha'ala,
Shema Yasha'ala,
Yahweh Allah Hayanawa,
Yahweh Adonai,
Yahweh Achad,
Yahweh Echad,
Shema Yasha'ala,
Shema Yasha'ala,
Yahweh Allah Hayanawa,
Yahweh
Yahweh Achad,
Yahweh Echad,
Shema Yasha'ala,
Shema Yasha'ala,
Yahweh Allah Hayanawa,
Yahweh
Yahweh Achad.
Echad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one.
It's the Lord's Prayer, which can be found in Matthew chapter 6 and verse 9. Abanawa,
Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Shabbat Shemayim,
Kodash,
Kodash,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Shemka,
Shemka,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Malachwathka,
Malachwathka,
Taba'ah,
Taba'ah,
Ratazaraka,
Ratazaraka,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Aisha,
Aisha,
Ba'aratazah,
Ba'aratazah,
Kawa,
Kawa,
Hayah,
Hayah,
Bashamayim,
Bashamayim,
Latamlanawa,
Latamlanawa,
Lacham,
Lacham,
Kol,
Kol,
Yawam,
Yawam,
Wasalachnawa,
Wasalachnawa,
Chabawathnawa,
Chabawathnawa,
Chasalachnawa,
Hasalachnawa,
Chabawath Yinawa,
Chabawath Yinawa,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Kabiyanawa,
Kabiyanawa,
Wadasaya 1,
Isaiah 1,
a ball,
Abal,
Hawashai Nawa,
Hawashai
Bayan,
Bayan,
Rai,
Rai,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Hamalakwath,
Hamalakwath,
Waha'ala,
Waha'ala,
Wahatha Pa'arath,
Wa'atha Pa'arath,
La'ai Walanyam,
La'ai
Aman.
Amen. This is Matthew chapter 6, verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Aman.
Amen.
Asherah,
Asherah,
Matazawath,
Ratazawa,
which is the 10 Commandments. Number 1, La'ah,
La'ah,
Yahaya,
Yahaya,
Laka,
Laka,
Alahayim,
Alahayim,
Aharim,
Aharim,
Alpanya,
Alpanya. Thou shalt have no other power before me.
La'ah,
La'ah,
Ta'aina,
Ta'aina,
Laka,
Laka,
Pasol,
Pasol,
Wala'ah,
Wala'ah,
Ta'ibadam,
Ta'ibadam. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
La'ah,
La'ah,
Talakwak'ath,
Alakwak'ath,
Sham,
Sham,
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bashawah,
Bashawah. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Zakar,
Zakar,
Hayawam,
Hayawam,
Hashabath,
Hashabat,
Lakodashwa,
Lakshashwa. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Kabad,
Kabad,
Abaka,
Abaka,
Wa'amaka.
Wa'amaka. Honor thy father and thy mother.
La'a,
La'ah,
Daratazach.
Daratazach. Thou shalt not murder.
La'a,
La'ah,
Dana'ap.
La'ah. Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'a,
La'ah,
Dakanab.
Dakanab. Thou shalt not steal.
La'a,
La'ah,
Da'aina.
Da'aina.
Shakur.
Shakur. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
La'a,
La'ah,
Dakamad.
Dakamad.
Call.
Call.
Asherah.
Asherah.
Lara'aika.
La'ah. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Hashem Yahushai.
Thawada.
Thawada.
Thamyad.
Thamyad.
Aman.
Aman. Shabim, which means to be seated.
So sorry. Can you take us to the back?
Absolutely.
Yeah, shot.
Perfect. All right, so that was the opening prayers. So now we're gonna get into this reading, and we went through the first, what was it, 7 plagues? Who remembers? Was it 7 or 8?
I was here towards the end.
We went through the first 7, I believe. We hit, we dealt with the frogs, we dealt with the blood in the water, we dealt with the lice, pestilence, boils, hail, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5, 6. And we dealt with the locusts, 7. Right, so we dealt with 8 plagues out of the 10. We got, wait, let me make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we got 2 left, right? We got 2 left. And I mean, to me, these are the 2 best ones. These are the 2 best ones, man. These are the 2 most, if you weren't convinced, if you were Pharaoh and you weren't convinced that the Most High was dealing with you, obviously he was convinced in these, right?
Yeah.
No, he still wasn't convinced.
Nope.
That's why they ended up getting swallowed up in the Red Sea, because I know I'm moving forward, but the 10 plagues didn't convince Pharaoh that he needs to back off. They need to back up. He got more prideful. His heart was hardened even more. And he sought to put Israel in the dirt.
Right.
So we're picking up off at Exodus, the 10th chapter. And we're going to be at the first verse. So let's salute up the first reader. Anybody that's new online, the reading is broken into 7 portions, 7 different readers. We salute up each reader. They state their name, the tribe, and the nation that they're from. So the brother that's up here, he's going to say his first name, which is Song. He's going to say Shabbat Tashal, which is tribe of. Yahawada, Judah, Bun Yashala. Okay, so last year's Passover garments were fire. Yes, they were. Last year's Passover garments were definitely hot fire. But yeah, so just translating for the brothers and sisters that are new online, if any. Usually we have our main, watchers, our main 20 to 30, 40 people. So they know the deal, but anybody that's new that just kind of stumbled on, that way you know what we're doing, all right? So. Oh, and then we're going to salute. He's going to say, we're going to salute, we're going to say, he's going to say God in the name of Christ. watch over, God in the name of Christ, watch, bless you, excuse me, and we're going to say it back. He's going to say Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Barakatham, and we're going to say it back to him, Barakatha, which is you. Barakatham is you all. God in the name of Christ, bless you. Okay?
Song, Shabbat Shah, Yahweh, Ban Yasharala.
Song, Shabbat Shah, Yahweh, Banya Sha'ala. I mind you. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai Barakatham.
Yes, last year's Passover garments were fire. I mean, every year's Passover garment. This that I got on is an old Passover garment from 2 years ago, 3. Minus the headband, but yeah, this is an old Passover garment, old tunic. It's good work, man. The sisters that be putting in that, I mean, whatever they do, whether it's Passover garments, whether it's unity garments, they just did some unity pants. Woo! Hey, I get excited for garments.
That's right.
I get excited for a hot new pair of pants.
That's right.
Right? I get excited. So, yeah, they put in this work, man. They got skill, you know, and they nurture that skill. So, yeah, if y'all want a garment, man, make sure y'all say something. Right, make your airline reservations. Get that out the way before them tickets start getting ridiculous.
That's right.
Whatever reservations you got to make, hotel, make them. Try to make them early if you can. The earlier the better. Lock your spot in. But let's get it in. Let's get it in. We're at Exodus, the 10th chapter, first verse.
Exodus chapter 10, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses.
Is that mic on?
Low.
Flick the switch. There
Low.
Okay. Oh, you ain't got no mic. Oh, so you ain't on. Nah, I'm Go ahead. I think the cord is messed up. We gotta find a different cord.
Exodus chapter 10, verse 1. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Go in unto Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart, and the heart of his servants, that I might show these my signs before him, and that thou mayest tell in the ears of thy son, and of thy son's son, what things I have wrought in Egypt, and my signs which I have done among them, that ye may know how that I am Yahweh. And Moses and Aaron came in unto Pharaoh, and said unto him, Thus saith Yahweh, power of the Hebrews, how long wilt thou refuse to humble thyself before me? Let my people go, that they may serve me. Verse 4. Else, if thou refuse to let my people go, behold, tomorrow will I bring the locusts in to thy coast. Verse 5. And they shall cover the face of the earth, that one cannot be able to see the earth. And they shall eat the residue of that which is escaped, which remaineth unto you from the hell, and shall eat every tree which groweth for you out of the field. Verse 6. And they shall fill thy houses, and the houses of all thy servants, and the houses of all the Egyptians, which neither thy fathers nor thy fathers' fathers have seen.
Oh, so we didn't hit the locust last week, right?
I don't think so.
Right. It was the frogs. So we hit, it was the frogs, it was pestilence, it was the flies, it was the lice, it was the hail. Now he's going into this locust. I think we kind of just jumped ahead a little bit when we were talking about it. Because William, you were bringing up the fact that there was some big hand-sized locusts. Listen, I seen a picture, it must have been Photoshop. but it was a picture of a man holding, like he was holding a fish, like he caught like a big bass, but he's holding a locust. And I'm like, that gotta be Photoshop. That's too big. Like he was holding a lion, like he was holding a baby cat. The thing was huge, but I'm like, there's no way. But I was watching something about like the 10 biggest insects ever found, and the locust was like number 10. They were talking about like the hand size, but then they were talking about there was a swarm that hit like the early 1930s. There was a swarm of like 2 billion. They estimated, or 3 trillion, something like that. It was in the trillions. It wiped out like a whole region the size of California. They just, a swarm that much covered the size of Cali and wiped out crops and everything. And I was like, wow, 2-3 billion locusts. They said they'd never seen anything like that ever. Now, as we go through these locusts, right? If they ain't never seen nothing like that in recent times, imagine what these locusts. You know, we went through all the pestilence and the plague and the boils and the things they went through, but the magnitude that the Most High brought all these different plagues was on a scale that was unprecedented. It was on a scale that was never seen at that time, but also never seen at this time. When's the last time you seen hail mingle with fire?
Never.
When's the last time you seen body lights come out of people just out of nowhere? Never. So the point that the Most High was trying to make with these 10 plagues was that this is me. No matter what, it was always him. But he was really trying to deal with Pharaoh's mind. Look at look at how much effort the Most High had to use to try to break this guy's pride. And it still didn't work. It still didn't work. Watch. Go ahead. Read on.
And he turned himself and went out from Pharaoh. Verse 7. And Pharaoh's servants said unto him, How long shall this man be a snare unto us? Let the man go, that they may serve Yahweh their power.
See, his servants was like, man, just let them go do what they gotta do. It's because of this man, and you gotta see it. So back in Abraham, when Abraham went to the Egyptians and they took Sarah, what happened to the Egyptians?
They got cursed.
So they got hit with plagues, right? They got cursed. Now you come back and you deal with Moses, they get cursed. You can see why the Egyptians didn't want to deal with us.
Right.
Why they're like, man, these cats are an abomination to us, because every time we deal with them, every time we have a dealing with the Hebrews, we get the short end of the stick. We're the ones getting boils. We're getting hemorrhoids in the butt cheeks. We're getting hit with lice and pestilence. We're the ones that are receiving the plagues while they sitting up in Goshen chilling. They sitting up in Goshen, man, having a damn time. So we got to see why the Egyptians really didn't favor us. They didn't favor any type of shepherd. They were like, nah, we ain't dealing with these guys. It's too much. Go ahead.
Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? Verse 8.
Knowest thou what?
Not that Egypt is destroyed.
Shows you the pride of Pharaoh. Egypt was already destroyed by this point. The former plagues, the hail, I mean, come on, fiery hail, that right there would destroy the city. But then they have dead flies, lice, just all sorts of different pestilence. Imagine everybody walking around with coronavirus out there. They walking around with some crazy cough. Ain't no masks out there made in China at this time. Everybody just coughing on everybody. Ain't no breathing masks. China did they slick. They got a damn virus out there. They got the made in China, all the masks made in China. Talking about their economy is going down. Nigga, your economy is booming. Ain't no made in China mask at this time in Egypt. You can't. This pestilence that's going through. You ain't taking no Dayquil, no NyQuil, and you getting rid of these plagues, man. It says that Egypt is destroyed. They were asking him, Pharaoh's servants were like, don't you see that Egypt is already destroyed? So you gonna just get us all the way wiped out?
Yeah.
Pharaoh in his mind is like, well, I ain't got nothing to lose, right?
Yeah.
I ain't got nothing to lose. Right? At least I'm gonna keep these niggas to rebuild.
Right.
That's what he was thinking, but the Most High was like, nah. But even his servants, Pharaoh's own men were in a better mind space, in a better thought process towards what was going on than Pharaoh. Go ahead.
Right. Verse 8. And Moses and Aaron were brought again unto Pharaoh, and he said unto them, Go, serve Yahweh your power. But who are they that shall go? Verse 9. And Moses said, We will go with our young, and with our old, and with our sons, and with our daughters, with our flocks, and with our herds we will go. For we must hold a feast unto Yahweh. Verse 10. And he said unto them, Let Yahweh be so with you, as I will let you go, and your little ones. Look to it, for evil is before you. Verse 11. Not so. Go now, ye that are men, and serve Yahweh, for that ye did desire. And they were driven out from Pharaoh's presence. Verse 12. And Yahweh said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand over the land of Egypt for the locusts.
For the what?
For the locusts.
He said, stretch your hand out, man. We're gonna get these locusts. Just rip apart whatever is left.
Right.
Just rip apart whatever is left. There wasn't much left. It said that the hail, the fiery hail, destroyed all the herbs and crops.
Right.
So whatever was left, these locusts, you can only imagine the swarm, the annoyance, the noise.
Right.
Because the locusts are noisy, man. They make a noisy little chirping / buzzing type of sound, and their wings are flapping. So you hear all these noises, and then they eat up all whatever remaining crop Egypt had stored up or what was on the ground. Go ahead.
That they may come up upon the land of Egypt and eat every herb of the land.
You see that? Go ahead.
Even all that the hell have left.
Right. I know I'm repeating. I didn't know I was going to say exactly that. But go ahead.
For 13. And Moses stretched forth his rod over the land of Egypt, and Yahweh brought an east wind upon the land all that day, and all that night. And when it was morning, the east wind brought the locusts. 14. And the locusts went up over all the land of Egypt, and rested in all the coasts of Egypt. Very grievous were they. Before them there were no such locusts as they, neither after them shall be such.
You see that? So even in the early 1900s or whenever you see us, there was when brothers was out in Trinidad, man, they sent a video back. There was a swarm of locusts going through Trinidad, but it's still, like the scriptures say, would never be comparable to what we witnessed or what the Egyptians had to go through.
Right.
There was nothing before, there was nothing after.
Right.
So these locusts have to be, the Most High said it, man. Watch. Go to Ecclesiastes 38. Ecclesiastes 38, 39, 28. 39, 28.
Ecclesiastes chapter 39, verse 28.
Go ahead.
There be spirits that are created for vengeance,
He said there be spirits that are created for vengeance. Go ahead.
which in their fury lay sore strokes.
Lay on sore strokes. Go ahead.
In the time of destruction they pour out their force.
Right, so in their fury they lay on sore strokes. They be putting them that whooping on.
Right.
Now, it says in their time of destruction they pour out their force.
Right.
Go ahead.
And appease the wrath of him that made them.
Go ahead.
Fire and hail.
So he said fire and hail, but the Most High mingled fire with hail.
Right.
Go ahead.
And famine and death.
Right? And famine and death came in the way of, I'm going to send locusts to destroy your crop. I'm going to send pestilence and flies and disease on your body to destroy your animals.
Right.
Right? The frogs, death. Go ahead.
All these were created for vengeance.
They were created for what?
Created for vengeance.
Go ahead.
Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions.
Right.
Serpents and the sword. Punishing the wicked to destruction.
Read verse 31.
They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth.
Yeah, see these locusts, they were ready upon earth, man. The frogs,
Right.
they were ready. The pestilence, they were ready upon earth. Go ahead.
When need is, and when their time has come,
Right.
they shall not transgress his word.
Yeah, and they weren't going to stop until Moses put his hand again against Egypt and call those locusts, call those frogs, call that pestilence, those boils. It said they will not stop until they appease his wrath. Until they will not transgress his word. You got to think about that. So when the Most High is ready to send something on you to avenge your pride, listen, when he say vengeance is mine, and he starts sending plagues out, and famine and death and hail and thunderstorms and earthquakes, what y'all think those things are? When you got earthquakes in between Jamaica and Cuba, and you got the people shook, thank God nobody was really hurt. Right? Nobody was hurt from what I heard. The earthquake happened kind of in the center of both islands. So they got a little tremor here and there, but there was no death toll compared to like when an earthquake hit Haiti, and you got 20,000 plus people dead in the first shock, in the first hit. And then you got the after tremors. When the Most High is ready, man, when he sends that spirit out, listen, it's pinpoint. He knew what he was doing when he was hitting that earthquake in the middle of Cuba and Jamaica. He knew it was up. Wake up. Wake up, right? Get right. I'm coming.
Right.
And that's the problem with our people. That pride is like, I'm gonna just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Nothing ain't happening for me to see that the Most High is coming. Right? Nothing's going on where I should change my mode of thinking. But there's been things going on from the jump. Right? We went over this the other day. What do I want? Give me this is hold on. And this is the problem with our people.
Right.
We try to test the Most High, man. We try to tempt the Most High. Oh, show us your power.
That's right.
Show us your coming.
Yeah.
Right? There it is. 2 Peter 3:3. 3:3.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 3.
Go ahead.
Knowing this first,
Right?
that there shall come in the last days
Read.
scoffers,
Go ahead.
walking after their own lusts,
Non-believers. Go ahead.
and saying, where is the promise of his coming?
Where is the what?
Promise of his coming?
Where is the promise of his coming? Well, the promise was this. I was going to send pestilence. I was going to send famine. There was going to be earthquakes in diverse places. There was going to be nation rising up against nation. Now, I mean, maybe I'm blind, but it's not coronavirus, which has been around. Coronavirus didn't just come out last month.
Right.
It came out back. It's been in animals, man, ever since they could test for it.
Right.
They got over 300 strands of coronavirus.
Right.
We just got hit with 3.
Right.
We just got hit with 3 strands.
Dang, yeah.
But there's over 300 strands of coronavirus that are in different species of animal. So when people be pulling up their Lysol cans like, wait a minute, this is weird. It says it kills coronavirus. Yeah, SARS is coronavirus.
Right.
SARS came out in 2002.
Yeah.
MERS, Middle Eastern Respiratory Syndrome.
Right.
That came out in 2012. Y'all gotta wake up.
Right.
SARS been around. But I guess since everything could be on a meme and everything's on Facebook now, everybody's awoke and aware. But these pestilence been around, man.
Right.
Famine been around. If you got pestilence, you're gonna have famine.
Right.
Because pestilence attacks food source.
Come on.
It attacks animals. It attacks things like that. So you gonna have famine. They go hand in hand.
Right.
Then look at the earthquakes. What's the point of an earthquake in between two islands? Oh, that's just a coinky-dink. Oh, that's just a coincidence. But then what's the point of an earthquake smashing Haiti all to pieces, but then Dominican Republic don't get touched?
Right.
You see how pinpoint the Most High? The Most High is not by accident. He said earthquake in diverse places, right? He said these things would happen. So we got to wake up and see that when we sit back and do what the Gentiles do, read it one more time, verse 4.
And saying,
right?
Where is the promise of his
When
coming?
we sit back with that ignorance, oh, where's the promise of his coming? I don't see it. I'm going to eat, drink, party, kick it, be lazy. I'm going to sit on the word like a goose egg.
Right.
I'm going to warm my Bible up with my butt cheeks. I'm going to sit on the knowledge.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
For since the fathers fell asleep,
Or since what?
the fathers fell
Ain't
asleep,
nobody looking. Ain't nobody checking me. Ain't nobody pushing me. Go ahead.
all things continue as they were from the beginning.
Go ahead.
All things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation.
But guess what? Things haven't been continuing since the beginning. Since the beginning, we've been catching hell. Since the death of Yahweh Shai, we've been catching even more hell. There's been more earthquake. There was an earthquake. When that earthquake hit in between Jamaica and Cuba, I think you put, there was an earthquake in Alaska, Russia, Indonesia. So there was earthquakes, not just in one place. It just so happened that was a 7.7, so everybody talked about it. But there's earthquakes happening all the time. The Most High is like, the earth is like this travailing woman that's ready to burst, man. And I think people don't realize that once that last person is sealed, that you got 143,099, right? 143,999 person.
Yeah.
And then when you get that last one, bing, bro, it's a wrap. But this is the problem. Nobody knows when that's going to be. We can't move around like we know. We can't move around and pride like, oh yeah, 144,000. That's going to be 20 years from now. That can happen now. It can happen right now. 5 minutes from now. Where's your mind at?
Right.
Where's your mind at towards the Most High and towards what He wants us to be doing?
Right.
We can't slack, man, and be like the scoffers in the end days, talking about where's the promise of His coming. The promise is right in front of your face.
Right.
Every day somebody's getting woke. Every day someone is getting sealed. I shouldn't say every day, else we'd be gone right now. But there is people getting sealed towards that 144,000. But every day an Israelite is waking up to the truth. That right there should be enough for you to say, wait a minute. This brother right here, he didn't know the truth yesterday, but he knows it now. This brother right here didn't know the truth, but he knows it now. This sister, this child, this young teen can't be like Pharaoh, man, in pride mode. Just, I want to have my will and have my way. Because when that destruction, remember, Revelation 7, he said, hurt not the earth. He told the angels, hurt not the earth until the 144,000 are sealed. That hurt is going to come in the form of even more earthquakes, even more pestilence. It's going to be total destruction. All right, so we got to remember, man, we don't want to be in Pharaoh mind, especially in these last days. Yahweh Shai is coming back. Listen. I don't care what you think, what you believe, what you subscribe to. The Bible is playing itself out right before our very eyes. Daily. All the prophecies are coming true. All the prophecies are happening. So, I mean, if you don't believe, you better wake up. You better wake up, man. Better wake up and start looking. Looking in front of your face. Anyway, let's jump back.
Exodus chapter 10, verse 15. For they covered the face of the whole earth, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruits of the trees which the hail had left.
Yeah, the freezing, I'm not sure why it happens. but it's only happening here. I was watching. I don't watch. When I watch Virginia, it doesn't freeze for some reason. I've cleaned and wiped the computer, reset the modem. I'm not sure what it is, but I do know this: if you watch on an Apple device, it won't freeze. If I watch on my iPad, it won't freeze. If I watch on the Android, it freezes. So I'm not sure what's going on. But if you can watch it, maybe even on a TV, on a device on your TV, Xbox or PlayStation or Apple TV, it may not, the feed may not freeze. But I'm not sure what, I got a little IT background, but I've done reset the computer, redid the modem, wiped the computer clean. I'm not sure what the problem is. But yeah, if you can watch on a different device, it may. I know on the Apples, it doesn't buffer, it doesn't freeze up. With mine, I gotta keep closing it, same thing. Close it, open it, close it, open it. All right, so we apologize for that. Go ahead, read on.
And there remained not any green thing in the trees,
Right?
or in the herbs of the field,
Right?
through all the land of Egypt.
Right.
Verse 16. Then Pharaoh called for Moses and Aaron in haste, and he said, I have sinned against Yahweh your power, and against you. 17. Now therefore forgive, I pray thee, my sin only this once, and entreat Yahweh your power, that he may take away from me this death only. 18. And he went out from Pharaoh and entreated Yahweh. 19. And the Lord turned a mighty strong west wind, which took away the locusts, and cast them into the Red Sea. There remained not one locust in all the coast of Egypt. Verse 20. But Yahweh hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Yasharallah go. Verse 21. And Yahweh said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt.
Now, it said darkness that may be felt. Now I want you to read here for me. We're gonna jump into the Josephus real fast. We all know Josephus is Israelite historian, documented the Israelite history from the beginning all the way to 70 AD. He was captive of Titus in 70 AD. So we're going to read. Remember, the Josephus is a reference book. It's not the Bible. We go here. It just gives us a little bit more information on what we're reading. Brings a little bit more things to light. Go ahead and read. Let me see. So we're in book 2, chapter 14. And section 4. See where I got highlighted.
After this, a tribe of locusts consumed the seed which was not hurt by the hail, so that to the Egyptians all hopes of the future fruits of the ground were entirely lost.
Right, so he sent the he sent the locusts so that all hopes of future fruit were lost. So they ate up the seeds of anything that was supposed to grow. Go ahead.
One would think the aforementioned calamities might have been sufficient for the one that was only foolish, without wickedness, to make him wise, and to make him sensible what was for his advantage. But Pharaoh led not so much by his folly as by his wickedness.
He said he was led by his what?
Folly as by his wickedness.
Go ahead.
Even when he saw the cause of his miseries.
Whew. Go ahead.
He still contested with God and willfully deserted the cause of virtue. So he bid Moses take the Hebrews away with their wives and children, but to leave their cattle behind, since their own cattle were destroyed. But when Moses said that what he desired was unjust, since they were obliged to offer sacrifices to God of those cattle, and the time being prolonged on this account, a thick darkness without the least light spread itself over the Egyptians.
Go ahead.
Whereby their sight being obstructed and their breathing hindered by the thickness of the air, they died miserably.
It said the thickness of the air did what?
They died miserably.
Go ahead.
And under a terror, lest they should be swallowed up by the dark cloud.
Go ahead.
Besides this, when the darkness, after 3 days and as many nights, was dissipated, and when Pharaoh did not still repent and let the Hebrews go, Moses came to him and said, how long wilt thou be disobedient to the commandment of God?
So, darkness for 3 days, it said it was so thick, it killed them, the air. Remember, it said in Exodus, a darkness that could be felt. Let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, the 17th chapter. Wisdom of Solomon, 17 and verse 1.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 1.
Read.
For greater the judgments cannot be expressed.
Read.
Therefore,
Unnurtured
souls have erred.
Right? Like Pharaoh, he was an unnurtured soul, man. Said he was pushed forward through his wickedness. Go ahead.
But when unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, the prisoners of darkness, and fettered with the bonds of long night, lay Salah. The prisoners of darkness and fettered with bonds of a long night lay exiled from the external providence.
Right.
But while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness.
Go ahead.
Being horribly astonished and troubled with apparitions.
So this darkness wasn't just darkness. So they were being troubled and astonished. Right? Watch. Go ahead. Verse 4.
For neither might the corner that held them keep them from fear, but noises as of waters falling down sounded about them.
Right.
And sad virgins appeared unto them with heavy countenance.
Right. So it was dark, but imagine it's dark and you just hear bloop, bloop, bloop. You like, wait a minute. Where'd that come from? But then they start having visions. It says it, sad visions appeared unto them with heavy countenances. Go ahead, verse 5.
No power of the fire might give them light.
Think about that. You try to light a fire and the fire just gets swallowed up in dark. This is how dark it was. It was so thick, they couldn't even light the fires. Go ahead.
Neither could the bright flames of the stars endure to lighten the horrible night. Only there appeared unto them a fire kindled of itself, very dreadful. For being much terrified, they thought the thing which they saw to be worse than the sight they saw not.
Right, so the visions that they were getting were worse than the things that they didn't see. The Most High, so it wasn't just dark, when it said a gross darkness that could be felt, he was hitting them with visions, he was hitting them with sights. Right. You were seeing spirits float by with sad countenances. Bro, he was you talking about a terror movie. Right. You talking about The Exorcist or what's one of the other ones? Poltergeist, right? You talking about, man, the Most High. That's why it says the Most High, he's the king of terrors. You think that the darkness was supposed to cover you. But the things you saw is what killed you.
From reading the description, it sounded like it was sucking some of the oxygen out of the air. They couldn't light fires and was dropping.
Yeah, it was taking that, but that's why it said in here, it was so thick that they died. It tells you, it says, whereby their sight being obstructed and their breathing hindered by the thickness of the air. So the oxygen was being sucked out. Yeah. It was so thick you couldn't even light the fire. So you start to see things. Oh, we ain't done. We ain't done. Oh yeah, this goes all the way up in. This goes in there. Go to read verse 6. Oh, verse 7.
Verse 7. As for the illusions of art, magic, they were put down, and their vaunting in wisdom was reproved with disgrace. Verse 8. For they that promised to drive away terrors and troubles from a sick soul were sick themselves of fear, worthy to be laughed at.
Right, so when the magicians came and tried to mimic, like, oh yeah, we'll take away the darkness, we'll take away the sickness. Hell nah, they were so frightened. They were something to be laughed at because you were supposed to be the ones to fix it, but you were terrified yourself. Go ahead.
Verse 9. For though no terrible thing did fear them, yet being scared with beasts that pass by, and hissing of serpents.
Imagine it's so dark, you just hear, you hear a snake slither by. You like, what? You hear wild beasts roaring.
Yeah, rattlesnake.
Yeah, you hear a rat.
Yeah.
You hear it hissing of this animal and all the things your mind could imagine. All the things that your mind could imagine in this darkness. You like it start coming to the light. Go ahead.
Verse 10. They died for fear,
Right?
denying that they saw the air, which could of no side be avoided. For wickedness condemned by her own witnesses is very timorous, and being pressed with conscience always forecast grievous things. For fear is nothing else but a betraying of the
Secures.
of the succors which reason
Offer.
offered.
So, what secures did the Egyptians have? They had none. The secures was the Most High.
Right.
It says fear is nothing but the betraying of your help by what reason offers.
Right.
They had every reason to be scared
Right.
because they had no help. They had no secure.
God.
Now, let's reverse that. That's why the Most High said he didn't give us the spirit of fear because we have the secure. We have the help.
Right.
We always got to remember that the Most High, even in darkness, even in your darkest time, the Most High is there with you.
God.
And that's what we got to see. That's what you got to lean on. You can't let the hissing of snakes and the roaring of wild beasts, because you can't see them. You can't let that. A lot of that is a psych out. Listen, it said they died for fear.
Right.
No animal killed them.
Right.
No wild beasts came and bit them. They died being shook.
God.
Scary as hell. But they had reason to be scared because they wasn't dealing right. It tells you, it says for wickedness condemned by their own witness.
Right.
It's very timorous and being pressed with the conscience. Always forecasteth grievous things. So that wickedness and your conscience, if it ain't right, you're always going to have negative out there. You're always going to have doubt and fear. Right? Think about a person that, it's like, if I got pulled over by the cops right now,
Right.
I would be able to not, first of all, he pull me over. How you doing, officer?
Right.
I wouldn't get scared. I wouldn't get nervous. I wouldn't be shook.
Right.
Because I didn't do nothing wrong.
Right.
Right? I'm not doing nothing wicked. Now, if I had dime bags in the back of the trunk, right? If I had a couple of pounds or something,
God.
or if I was doing something wicked on the low,
Right.
and a cop came to, if I was committing adultery or something like that, and I knew I was doing it,
Right.
and the Most High shot that cop to me,
Yeah.
then I would tremble. I'm like, oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I know the Most High is checking me.
Right.
But if I know if I'm clean, if I know I'm not doing nothing wrong, man, and a cop hems me up, hey, how you doing, officer? I'm not going to be scared.
Right.
Back in the day, the cop used to pull you over and your legs used to melt
Right.
into what your knees would go into water,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, man, but you couldn't figure out why is this cop pulling you.
Yeah.
Now we have the ability to sit back and think like, why is the Most High sending this to me? Because it's the Most High, right? What's the Most High doing? What did I do? And you might try to, damn, what did I do?
Right.
Nah, I didn't do nothing. Okay, well, agree with the adversary quickly. That's the test. Boom, you do it, you might not even get a ticket. But you got some brothers, sisters, they get pulled over and they start, and it's like, whoa, calm down. You do something wicked? Why are you moving like that? Why are you acting all scary?
Right.
Because your conscience mixed with the wickedness that you're doing, the conscience start hitting you. Damn, I know I did this. I know I did this. Now the Most High sent the cops on me.
Right.
And it says it forecasts grievous things. So now you start to forecast in your mind. Damn, they're going to lock me up because this, and they're going to find this, and I got a warrant, and you ain't even got no warrant. But you start to forecast every negative thing.
Right.
But that's why the Most High said don't have that spirit of fear, man. But you won't have that spirit of fear if we do the right thing.
Right.
If we try to keep as clean as possible. Go ahead, read verse 13.
Verse 13, and the expectation from within being less, counted the ignorance more.
Counted their what?
Counted the ignorance.
Go ahead.
More than the cause which bringeth the torment.
You see that? It says, and the expectation from within being less, counteth the ignorance. So the ignorance in them was more of a thing than the reason why they were catching the hell. They looked at the things ignorantly. They looked at what was going on and not looking at the cause like, yo, the Most High is doing this to show us a lesson.
Right.
They looked at the ignorances in them. Like, damn, there's a snake. Let me run. Boom, ran into a wall, killed myself. Let me start slicing people in half in the dark. Like, you start getting ignorant, you start thinking ignorantly, you start moving ignorantly. And it says, the ignorance more than the cause which bringeth the torment. Go ahead.
Verse 14. But they sleeping the same sleep that night, which was indeed intolerable, and which came upon them out of the bottoms of inevitable hell. Were partly vexed with monstrous apparitions, and partly fainted.
Woo! Go ahead.
Their heart failing them.
Read.
For a sudden fear, and not looked for, came upon them.
You see that? They was getting apparitions and sights and visions. It said intolerable sleep. Even when they try to close their eyes, nope. You're going to get hit in your sleep. You're not going to sleep this off. Man, the Most High was getting them. Well, it's dark. Might as well go to bed, right? Nope. Not this time. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 16. So then whoever there fell down was straightly kept, set up in a prison without iron bars.
They were in a prison in their minds, man. Go ahead.
For whether he were husbandman or shepherd or a laborer in the field, he was overtaken and endured that necessity which could not be avoided. For they were all bound with one chain of darkness.
Go ahead.
Whether it were a whistling wind or a melodious noise of birds among the spreading branches, or a pleasing fall of water running violently, or a terrible sound of stones cast down, or a running that could not be seen of skipping beasts,
Go ahead.
or a roaring voice of a most savage wild beast,
Go ahead.
or a rebounding echo from the hollow mountains. These things made them to swoon for fear.
Now, you hearing this stuff and you locked up in your house.
God, man.
You just hear wild beasts roaring. You hear rocks falling from mountains. You hear wind whistling through your house. Woo! Whoa, what door is open? Imagine that. You in your house locked up thinking that you're safe.
Right.
And you hear wild beasts, rocks falling, violent rushing water? Come on now, the Most High, bro. Read verse 20.
Verse 20. For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor. Over them only was spread in heavy night, an image of that darkness.
Ooh, it said, hold on, you gotta read verse 20. Read verse 20.
For the whole world shined with clear light, and none were hindered in their labor.
Speaking of us, man. Speaking of Israel, we the world. He said the whole world shined with a clear light. The darkness was on one part of the world,
Right.
which was wherever the Egyptians were. Think about how, and the rest of the world was just carrying on business as usual.
Yeah.
Business as usual. Go ahead. Verse 21.
Over them only was spread a heavy night, and image of that darkness which should afterwards receive them. But yet were they unto themselves more grievous than the dark.
You see that? They were unto themselves. The thoughts that come to a man.
Right.
You got to think about it. What is that saying? That you're your worst enemy.
Right.
Our thoughts, right? When we get in that situation where it looks like there's no light, there's no hope. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Right.
So if I forecast grievous things for my brain, guess what's going to happen? Grievous things are going to come to fruition. Grievous apparitions and grievous dreams. We cast a lot of the things upon ourselves.
That's
right. Right? Go to Michelle was throwing a few out. Go to Proverbs 3:25. And Proverbs 3:25, go to Sirach, or Ecclesiastes 7:1.
Proverbs chapter 3 verse 25.
Go ahead.
Be not afraid of sudden fear,
Read.
neither of the desolation of the wicked.
Neither of the desolation of the what?
Of the wicked.
See, the desolation, you have to sometimes be around desolation.
right.
But that doesn't mean that desolation is coming for you.
God.
But there's wicked all through the earth.
God.
And a lot of the times, man, the Most High is proving his point, destroying the wicked, but the righteous are intermingled
God.
with the wicked.
Right.
So what do we get front row seats to? To their destruction.
God.
And that should be solidifying your faith.
Right.
That should be solidifying. Go to Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 1. Read that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 1.
Go ahead.
Do no evil,
Read.
so shall no harm come unto thee.
Right. That should be solidifying. Do no evil, and no harm shall come unto you.
Right.
That's what that should solidify in each man's mind. How do I stay clean? How do I stay pure? How do I keep my mind right? That way, when the destruction comes, I don't get fearful.
Right.
Because fear is nothing but the betraying of the secures by which reason offereth. Right? You ever watch Bernie Man? Who was it? Century Entertainer? Man, remember back in the day, Kings of Comedy? He was like, man, black people. He said, when one run, we all run. It's like we all just scary as hell. He's like, oh yeah, you just start running. Everybody just start running. But what are you fearful? What's the fear? What do you have to fear? Like people start ducking, you got to start ducking. But ain't nothing going on.
God.
But only if your belief is not in the Most High.
That's right.
Now I'm not saying not to be careful and be watchful and be vigilant and walk with a 360. Of course not. But I'm not going to run around fearful because somebody else is, because they're not trying to stay clean.
Right.
Because they're doing evil. You got a lot of men that do a lot of evil, and when it's time to go out and make things happen, it's like, oh no, I'm not going down that road. It's spooky down there. Or I ain't going down that road. This is going on. Or the cops is down there. So what?
Right.
So what?
God.
What you got to fear?
God.
Do no evil, and no harm shall come unto you.
Right.
Care about no cops.
God.
People too. I walk by a cop, drive by a cop, drive behind a cop, let a cop drive behind me. I don't care.
Right.
Why? Because I'm not doing anything to where the cops gotta come for me.
Right.
And if they do, you just handle the situation.
Exactly.
Handle it the right way.
God.
Handle it with wisdom.
God.
Right?
God.
Finish that Psalms. That Proverbs 26.
Verse 26.
Right?
For the Lord shall be thy confidence.
He shall be like what?
Thy confidence.
Go ahead.
And shall keep thy foot from being taken.
Right. Go to Hebrews 10:35 real quick. One of my favorites. He said, the Lord shall be thy confidence. But see, the problem is, man, a lot of men put confidence in the chariots. They put confidence in other men. They put confidence in flesh.
Right.
Those things fail.
Right.
And, deep down inside, that's where fear comes from, knowing that those things are going to fail, but still trying to put your confidence in them. I mean, any man in their right mind knows that, man, you can't put your trust in another man to that extent, like how you put it in the Most High.
Exactly.
That all flesh is going to fail.
Right.
That chariots and cars, and it says it, prophecies and all these different things are going to fail.
God.
So we got to put our trust always in the Most High. Hebrews 10:35.
Hebrews chapter 10 verse 35. Cast not away therefore your confidence,
Right?
which had great recompense of reward.
That has what?
Great recompense of reward.
See, the confidence has a great recompense of reward. But you lose that reward because of fear. You lose that reward because you betray. We betray our secures. We betray the help.
Right.
We betray the very thing that is what's keeping us up, what keeps you pushing forward. So there is no reward.
Right.
Then you start to cast in your mind all the grievous things, you get all the apparitions, you get all the bad things that could happen. We're so good at imagining what negative could happen. Instead of thinking about, the Most High said, hope for the good.
Right.
It said that he said that it's good that a man both hope and patiently wait for salvation.
Right.
We gotta hope for the good, man, and look at things more in a positive light. Like I don't like I've been learning to stop looking at things in a negative
God.
and stop sitting around trying to wait for negative to happen.
God.
And just keep pushing forward in wisdom and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Where good is, evil is also present.
God.
Can't avoid it.
Right.
But I'm not gonna sit back like, okay, Satan, waiting for you.
Yeah.
And just sit here like, yeah, I'm waiting for Satan.
Right.
Nah, I'm gonna do what I gotta do. Satan is right next to me.
Right.
He's running as fast as I am.
God.
That's the beautiful thing about Satan. As fast as you run, he runs right next to you.
Right.
And he guess what? He don't lose his breath.
Right.
Satan, right? He's like the Flash,
God.
right? And he just runs. He runs right next to you. And he waits for you. He waits for you to start thinking messed up.
Right.
He waits for you to do some evil.
Right.
So he can touch you. He can't touch you if you're doing good. You're shielded.
God.
He waits for you to start getting the negative thought. He waits for you to start doubting. He waits for you to get fearful. And all he does is just, like a bicycle that's going real fast and you just stick a piece of wood in the wheel and a bicycle.
Yeah.
He just does that. He just, trip you.
God.
But when you're running and he's running next to you, he's trying to keep up.
Right.
But as soon as you fear, you start to slow down.
Yeah.
As soon as you doubt, you slow down. As soon as you betray your confidence, you slow down.
God.
And Satan can stick his hand in. Boom, I got you. I'm going to grab on.
Right.
I'm going to run with you.
Right.
Satan can't keep up, man, to the Most High.
That's right.
We got to see that.
God.
So why don't we get the reward? Because we betray the very thing that's there to reward us.
Right.
We betray the confidence.
Right.
Right?
God.
So let's jump back. I'll read this one. Job 17:9. The righteous also shall hold on his way, and he that hath a clean hand shall be stronger and stronger. Yeah. You keep running, man. You're going to build that strength. Satan can't mess with you.
Right.
Even when he does try to interject,
Right.
it's going to be to no avail.
God.
Gotta not betray the secures.
Yeah, the Hebrews team.
Huh?
Hebrews.
What's that?
You have to go to Hebrews team.
Yeah, he read it already. Hebrews 10:35. He read it. Read it one more time. Hebrews 10:35. Mm-hmm.
Cast not away therefore your confidence,
Right?
which had great recompense of reward.
Go ahead.
For ye have need of patience,
Right?
that after ye have done the will of God,
Yeah, because the will of the Most High is not for you to be fearful.
Right.
The will of the Most High is not for you to betray Him,
Right.
not to give up on Him,
Right.
not to give up on yourself. The will of the Most High is not for you to think negative
Right.
and get fearful like the Egyptians.
Right.
They had every reason to be fearful. What's your reason?
God. Yeah.
They had every reason to be doubtful. What's our reason? They was doing wicked. They was oppressing us. It tells you when you read in the beginning, for great are thy judgments and cannot be expressed. Therefore unnurtured souls have erred. For when the unrighteous men thought to oppress the holy nation, they being shut up in their houses, prisoners of darkness. So they had every reason
Yeah.
to every time a water drop.
God. Right.
Oh my God. They hear a lot. What the? Bro, they had every reason to lose it.
God.
They had every reason to lose it. But what's our reason? Most High didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a sound mind.
God.
We got to roll in that sound mind. We got to roll in wisdom.
That's right.
Let's jump back to Exodus. Oh, next reader, right? You finished?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Next reader. Anyone step up?
John, Sabbath,
Mm-hmm.
Bun,
Yahweh?
Yahweh,
Mm-hmm. Bun?
Bun,
Yashala.
Yasharal.
Say it again.
John, Sabbath, Bun, Yahweh,
John Shabbat Shah Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bun Yashala.
Oh, Bun, Yasharal. John, Sabbath, Yahweh, Bun, Yasharal.
Right. John Shabbat Shah Yahweh. Bun Yashala. I might you. Barak. Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Bahasham.
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai,
Barakatham.
Barakatham.
Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Barakatha. Go get it. Close. You was just asleep. What you doing? Oh, is that what it is?
She's scared of me.
All right, so we're at Exodus 10 and 22. Exodus 10 and verse 22. Go ahead. Oh, yeah. You got it.
Exodus 10:22.
Make sure that mic is on.
And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. They saw not one another, neither rose any from his place for 3 days.
So 3 days of torment. 3 days of mental. So the Most High dealt with them on a physical. I'm going to destroy your crops, your cattle, and your bodies. Now I'm going to destroy your mental. Remember, the land was already desolate. They said it earlier. Let the men go that they may serve their power. Knowest thou not yet that Egypt is destroyed? So the land was destroyed. The Most High said, okay, I'm going to show you I'm the king of terrors. I'm going to destroy that mental. This is scary, man. To think like, dang, it could be so dark. It said they saw not one another. And they went through a mental torment that's how they died. Gotta see it for 3 days. Go ahead.
But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings.
Mm-hmm.
And Pharaoh called unto Moses and said, Go you, serve the Lord. Only let your flocks and your herds be stayed. Let your little ones also go with you. And Moses said, You must give us also sacrifices and burnt offerings, that we may sacrifice unto our Lord our God. Our cattle also shall go with us. There shall not an hoof be left behind. For therefore we must take to serve the Lord our God. And we know not with what we must serve the Lord until we come there. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not let them go. And Pharaoh said unto him, Get you from me. Take heed to yourself. See my face no more. For in that day you seest my face, you shall die. And Moses said, You have spoken well. I see your face no more again. Again no more.
Right? Where was that at?
That was the last verse.
So you're going to go to 12.
10, 29.
You're going to go to 12 and verse 1. Hey, we got if you need a Bible, we just got a whole 3 stack of like 75 Bibles, right? Yeah, we got like 75 Bibles back there.
Go
Sorry.
12.
Yeah, reverse. So you're at
I read the last verse.
in verse 10, right? No, so you're going to read 11.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to read 11. You're going to read 2 verse 12 and 1.
All right.
12 and 3, actually.
Okay. And the Lord said unto Moses, Yet will I bring one plague more upon Pharaoh and upon Egypt. Afterwards, he will let you go hence. When he shall let you go, he shall surely thrust you out hence altogether. Speak now in the ears of the people, and let every man borrow of his neighbor, and every woman of her neighbor, jewels of silver and jewels of gold. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover, the man Moses was very great in the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. And Moses said, Thus saith the Lord, About midnight will I go out into the midst of Egypt, and all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even unto the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of the beasts. And there shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there was none like it, nor shall be like it any more. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that you may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between Egyptians and Israel. And all these your servants shall come down unto me, and bow down themselves unto me, saying, Get you out, and all the people that follow you. And after that I will go out. And he went out from Pharaoh in a great anger. And the Lord said unto Moses, Pharaoh shall not hearken unto you, that by my wonders may be multiplied in the land of Egypt. And Moses and Aaron did all these wonders before Pharaoh. And the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let the children of Israel go out of his land. Chapter 12.
So y'all see what's going on. Same thing, reoccurring message. The Most High hits Pharaoh with the Most High sends Moses. Moses says, let the people go. Pharaoh says no. Most High hits Egypt with a plague. Pharaoh decides that he wants to do what the Most High says, but then he changes his mind. So he let him know, listen, in verse 5, all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of the Pharaoh that sitteth upon his throne, even to the firstborn of the maidservant that is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of beasts. Now, you know, we all do the 121. We all do the, well, if that was me, I would've.
Yeah.
Not in pride. Not in pride. You got to see what pride does. Pride takes away the, well, if that was me, I would have. If that was me, I would have seen that the other plagues destroyed, and I wouldn't have let my firstborn. Yeah, you would have. Yeah, you would have, because that's what pride does. That's why the scriptures say pride is hateful. I'm not going to go over what we went over last week, but it says pride is hateful before God and man. Right. And by it do you err. Right. Pride will cause you to err to a point where you won't even see the things that happened to you in the past, and you won't see coming destruction. Right. This is why Pharaoh wasn't willing to relinquish his control and relinquish his the mind state that he was in, because the pride. Right. All right. Now, real quick, I'm going to assume that this is somebody new that's asking this question. Now, I do want to remind y'all, today is the Sabbath. So if you come in to argue, you picked the wrong day. And if you came to argue at all, you picked the wrong channel. So, why are Hebrews reciting from the KJV Bible and not the Tanakh? So we're going to go to the Zondervan real quick. I'm going to just answer this in a few scriptures and a definition.
We're going to go to the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It is a dictionary. It's not the Bible. It's a dictionary. Okay? We're going to go under Bibles. We're going to go under King James Version. And we're going to read second paragraph. Read that for me. Yep.
Without delay,
Right?
King James nominated 54 of the best Hebrew and Greek scholars of the day.
Right. Now, I'm not a Hebrew or Greek scholar. Are you?
Lie.
You? Anybody in here proficient in the Hebrew, ancient, Yiddish? No. Okay. I'm saying that because there's not very many brothers or sisters that are Hebrew scholars or proficient in Hebrew to the point where we can just read the Hebrew and that's it. Go ahead.
Only 47 actually took part in the work.
So I'm answering this question, and it's a two-part question. So 47 scholars, they did what? Go ahead.
Took part in the work,
Go ahead.
which did not begin until 1607.
Right. Go ahead.
They were divided into 6 groups.
Right.
3 for the Old Testament,
Right.
2 for the New,
Go ahead.
and 1 for the Apocrypha.
Right. So the reason why we use the King James and not the Wycliffe Bible, not the NWI, NIV, the Jubilee translation, we use the King James because it was literally transcribed from the original Hebrew and Greek by actual Hebrew and Greek scholars. That's why we use the KJV. Pause on that. Go to Isaiah real quick. Here is another reason why we read English from an English Bible. This is another reason why we read English from an English Bible. Read Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 11.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 11.
Go ahead.
For with stammering lips,
Right.
and another tongue,
Another what?
another tongue,
Another what?
another tongue,
Go ahead.
will he speak to this people.
Right. So the Bible's prophesied that we would learn the wisdom in a different tongue. Now, when you lose your language, when you lose your nationality and your heritage, and you're coming back to it, you're not going to be 100% proficient in it. It doesn't profit anyone for us to sit here and read everything in Hebrew and nobody understands. Right? Paul said, you speak with the tongue of angels, and you speak in all these different languages. He said it's better that, let me get it. Let me get it. Let me just stop talking and get it. It's, where's that? 1 Corinthians 14, verse 18. Check this out real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 18.
Go ahead.
I thank my God.
Right?
I speak with tongues more than ye all.
Go ahead.
Yet in the church I had rather speak 5 words with my understanding.
So we rather that everyone understand, because we all speak English. The Bible said we were going to be prophesied to in another tongue. Go ahead.
That by my voice I might teach
Because
others.
that's the whole point for us to learn. Go ahead.
That by my voice I might teach others also. Then 10,000 words in an unknown tongue.
Right, because it's not profitable for us to sit here and just speak the Hebrew and everyone don't get it. If I sat here and spoke Hebrew to you, you wouldn't understand what I'm saying. How would your learning come about? How would you understand? Now, do we teach the Hebrew yet? Are we 100% proficient and saying that we're literal? I can sit here and just reel off the Hebrew with no errors, and no, we're learning. We're coming back to all of our custom. So everything that we're doing is not going to be 100%. But that's what happens when you are coming back. You haven't gotten all the way back yet. We're coming back to our language. We're coming back to our heritage. We're coming back to our custom. We're coming back to unity. We're coming back to brotherhood. We're coming back to Christ. We're coming back to the Most High, coming back to the law.
So we're not 100% there yet. If you caught us earlier, see, Israel got to be on time for stuff. But if you caught us earlier when we do our prayers, we do those in the Hebrew. But even in the prayers, we translate. Because if we speak in an unknown tongue, right? It says, when you speak in an unknown tongue, and you got to translate, got to edify. So we read from the KJV Bible because it's the closest translation to the Hebrew. The Bible said that he would speak to us in an unknown tongue. You got Israelites that are learning that they're Israelites in damn Spanish, in Italian, in German, in Greek, in whatever languages they got out there in Africa. You got all these different dialects in French. So there's going to be a lot of different tongues that our people are going to read the Bible in to get the understanding that they're the true people of the book. And then after you understand that the Bible, what your nationality is, Christ is black, apostles are black, or dark-skinned people, your true nationality, keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments, then everything else follows. Okay? Yeah, and I was on page 121 in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It's a dictionary. All right? We just went to Bible, KJV. And it's crazy. When you go in here, you see there's different. It got King James Version, but it has Genevan Bible. It has the Wycliffe Bible. It got all these different translations that were translated from each other. The King James had the scrolls to be able to translate. That's why we use the KJV. That's why we still speak English. Let's jump back real quick. I'm gonna assume that the person that asked that, Abraham III, I'm gonna assume that you're new, but I'll do you one better. Why you go by Abraham and not by a Hebrew name? See how I can do that? Anyway, let's jump back. Let's jump back, man. I love my people. I love my people, man. Y'all try to keep a brother on him toes. Yeah, Israel, bro, they'll keep you on the tippies. Keep the calf muscles strong. You be trying to bounce on the tippy toes, right? Anyway, where we at?
12:1.
Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak you unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house.
Oh, you read the verse 3, right? Right, verse 3. Yep. Right to verse 3. Any questions? Speaking unto the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to their house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. Okay. Any questions? Next reader.
Oh no, actually you can stay right there. Yeah, you can stay right there. I'm tripping. So we'll start with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You read 2, or you can read 2. Yep.
William Sabbath Yahweh, Ban Yasharala.
William Shabbat Yahweh Ban Yasha'Allah. I Mike. Barak.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Brakatam.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
all those that are proficient in Hebrew, you know exactly what I said. For all those that are not, you're still wondering, what did he say? Well, what we said was, he said his name, William, Shabbat Tashal, tribe of Yahweh, Judah, Bon Yashala, of Israel. Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Baraka. Thumb is God in the name of Christ. Bless you. Now, again, if you're a Hebrew scholar, you'll know that. If not, then you would need us to translate. And you get no understanding if we don't translate. Right. Huh? No, I didn't say that. I said, how come he didn't have a Hebrew name as far as he's going to look on it. Look. Hebrew translation. Watch. Right. Right. Abraham. That's not true. Abraham? That's true. Abraham? Go ahead, watch. I guarantee that's his given name. Go ahead. I know what you mean. What was it? 12 and verse 4, yeah.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb.
Right, Exodus 2, yes, that shows the calendar new year. The first month, right? This shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year, right? Which is Abib or Nisan. Go ahead.
Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and shall strike it upon two side posts and on the upper doorposts of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water.
Right, so this is the law. This is the law of the Passover. Your lamb shall be without blemish, male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. They shall take of the blood and strike it on the two posts. They shall eat the flesh in the night, roast with fire and unleavened bread. Right? Verse 9, eat not of it raw or sodden, meaning boiled. We didn't boil it. But roast with fire, his head with his legs and with all the pertinence thereof. So we did it whole. Go ahead.
And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning.
So there was no leftovers. There was no Passover leftovers. You see that? Like how they do Thanksgiving? Like how you use your turkey. The next thing you know, you got turkey stew, turkey sandwiches. There was no leftovers here. You're supposed to eat it all.
That's right.
And you devoured what you devoured and got rid of the rest. Go ahead.
And that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. And thus shall ye eat it, with your loins girded.
With your what?
Your loins girded.
Right? Because we was running.
Yeah.
We was running from Egypt. The Egyptians, man. So your loins girded, ready for war.
Right.
Go ahead.
Your shoes on your feet.
Right?
And your staff in your hand.
Yeah, you weren't doing I'm going to sit up in the living room in my drawers. You got, right? Watching the game.
Yeah.
I'm chilling, I'm kicking it on the bed, Indian style. Nah, bro, we ain't had time for that.
Right.
You was in a haste. Go ahead.
And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Most High. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you, when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day shall ye put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh, thy soul shall be cut off from Yasharal. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. And in the seventh day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread.
How you get a thumbs down for the Sabbath service? They must be mad because we're reading from the KJV. That's terrible. How you get a thumbs down from the Sabbath service, man? Bro, Israel, man, you are something else. And this is why it says we gird our loins and we got our shoes on. This is why we get the garments.
Right.
That's why we dress up for the Passover. You know, this is why we do it.
Right.
This is why we hold it in such high esteem. The Most High is telling us how He wants us to do His Passover. You said this is the Lord's Passover. He's telling us how He wants us to do His holy days. So when you read this and you look at all the other high holy days, you know, we still get dressed for the other high holy days, but this was the one where He said, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
As far as dress code, what you're going to eat, all the other feast days is just everything that's lawful. Right? But He told you how to prepare it. How to prepare it, what to wear. He told you how fast to eat it. He said you're going to eat in haste. Right? You're not going to sit back and hang out. You're not going to sit back and take your time. You're going to eat it quickly because, remember, the Egyptians was coming for us, man.
Right.
They were coming for us. So we had to be ready to skedaddle at that time. Go ahead. A thumbs down, man. That is bad business. Yeah, y'all want to hear what y'all want to hear? That Yiddish? Y'all want to hear that Assyrian Hebrew? Is that what y'all want? Come on, man. Israel got to stop it. Can barely even speak English. But want us to be reciting everything in Hebrew. You can barely even speak English. That's the thing. Like, nobody's even an English scholar. But you mad at us because we ain't, because we're not reading from the Tanakh. Come on, man. Israel is something else, bro. Hypocritical. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
Huh?
There was a question about Passover when you were just talking.
Right, question. I've heard some brothers say that there shouldn't be any extra food besides lamb, bitter herbs, and unleavened bread at Passover. Are they being carnal-minded? Well, they're going off of what the scriptures say. I mean, if you want to do it to the T, that's what the Bible says, right? Now, usually when we have Passover, there ain't nothing left over anyway. We eat it all. We end up eating it all that night. We actually always get just enough for everybody to get fed, and there's usually never nothing left over anyway. It's always all gone. So, I mean, this is what if you want to go, listen, you got super. I'm gonna revive this term, super brews. You got super Hebrews that they want everything tit for tat, jot and tittle. That's what it says. It says don't leave nothing over. So if you follow in the scriptures, that's what it says. In our case,
I think they're speaking of side dishes only, man.
Oh well, I mean, they don't talk about side dishes here. It don't say nothing about salads and all that. I mean, yeah, like, if we had like some cake or something, are we supposed to burn the cake? Nah, man, come on. Let's think. Usually the main course is finished off anyway.
Right.
And you're gonna have your little leftover cakes and desserts.
Right.
I'm taking a slice home.
Exactly.
I'm gonna take a little cheesecake home for later.
God.
You know? Now the lamb and all that stuff is a different thing. That's usually wiped out. Usually the main course, the lamb, and all that stuff is gone. Right. And again, and you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. And that which remain of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. This was specifically talking about the lamb. This was specifically, remember, this is specific instructions on the lamb. How to prepare it, how to cook it, and if there was anything remaining, then you burned it. Right. But for the last couple of Passovers, the last 5 that I remember, bro, ain't nothing left anyway. Everybody's getting seconds, thirds. You got some brothers get eighths.
Right.
They don't be enough for eighths. I'm just joking. But we end up knocking that Passover lamb off. It'd be so good.
Right.
Woo! Woo! Can't wait. We end up knocking that off anyway.
I got me addicted to lamb after that first.
See? That first one, he said he got addicted to lamb. Yeah. So, I mean, that's what the scriptures say.
Right.
I mean, luckily we don't have to deal with all that. We finish it. We eat it all that night. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Verse 17. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this self-same day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
Therefore you shall observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month, at even, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is unleavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Yasharah.
Right, and we're gonna, as the Passover comes back around, we'll go back over the Passover, and you know, we always do before the Passover, we do a class for the new brothers and sisters about the Passover. And then we do the Passover at Passover, we go through the scriptures also.
Right.
So you're gonna get like a triple dose within the next 2-3 months. Go ahead.
Whether he be a stranger or born in the land,
Mm-hmm.
you shall eat nothing leavened in all your habitations. Shall you eat unleavened bread? Then Moses called for all the elders of Yasharah and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until morning. For the Most High will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Most High will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And you shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you be come to the land which the Most High will give you, according to as he hath promised, that you shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Most High's Passover, who passed over the house of the children of Yasharah in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians, and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshiped. And the children of Yasharah went away, and did as the Most High commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Most High smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, for the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, Rise up, and get ye forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Yasharal, and go serve the Most High as ye have said. Also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people, that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We all be dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Yasharal did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment.
You see that? The scripture said that we were going to spoil the Egyptians. And it said we borrowed. I mean, we didn't borrow. We wasn't going back. We wasn't going to be able to get that back. But the scriptures put it eloquently. We borrowed from them, right?
God.
Hey, let me get that gold chain. You ain't gonna need it.
God.
You didn't. You know, these things. That was the last thing on their minds anyway.
God.
They had no cattle.
Right.
They had no crops.
Right.
So you think they worried about some gold? You think they worried about the things that we took from them? They were worried about how they gonna eat the next day.
Right.
Right? Where you at?
Verse 35.
No, you're good. Read the 45.
Okay.
Wait, you read verse 29?
Verse 29.
You had 12?
Okay.
Read verse 29 real quick, one more time. Somebody go to Wisdom of Solomon.
Verse
18.
29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Most High smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne, unto the firstborn of the captain that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle.
Right. So, go to Wisdom of Solomon real quick. This is one of my other favorites. This is one of my other favorites. Wisdom of Solomon 18 and verse 14. Somebody read that.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18, verse 14. For while all things were in quiet silence,
Right?
and that night was in the midst of her swift course,
Right?
thine almighty word,
Thy what?
thine almighty word,
So if you want to know what the Passover was that killed the firstborn, here it is. Read.
leaped down from heaven out of thy royal throne,
Right?
as a fierce man of war.
So when you read in John where it says the word became flesh and dwelt among us, the word became flesh before that. He leaped out of heaven, out of his almighty throne as a man of war. Go ahead.
Into the midst of a land of destruction,
Go ahead.
and brought thine unfeigned commandment as a sharp sword.
Remember, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, that lay on sore strokes, and in their fury, they will not stop until they appease the one that made them. It said they will not transgress his word. Go ahead.
And standing up, filled all things with
You
death.
did what?
Filled all things with death.
Now this is the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that the world tells you is a white man.
Right.
This is him.
Right.
So remember, Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, this is the Old Testament.
Right.
So he was known as the Almighty Word, right?
God.
Even in the Old Testament.
Right.
You link that with John chapter 1 and verse 14,
Right.
and there you have Christ in the Old Testament. There you have Yahweh Shai as the death angel. Said he filled all things with death. This ain't the first time, man, in the wilderness. Or, well, this ain't the last time, excuse me. Because now when we get into the wilderness, he's known as the destroyer. The scriptures say, don't be destroyed of the destroyer. Why? Because when he was ready to send fiery serpents and open up the earth and do all these different things, that was Yahweh Shai. Right. Go ahead, read on.
And it touched the heaven, but it stood upon the earth.
Right.
Then suddenly visions of horrible dreams troubled them sore, and terrors came upon them unlooked for. And one here and another there, half dead, showed the cause of his death. For the dreams that troubled them did foreshew this, lest they should perish and not know why they were afflicted.
That's it on that. So, and you can read it, you know, if you read chapter 18 up, it goes into the night and it leads up. I was just getting to the point. That if you want to know, man, it says the Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. You gotta really think about it. Bro, you gotta think about the power. Right. Like, it's so scary. Right. Because, dang, you gotta think about the words. He said that he leaped out of heaven, man. He was like, got him. Yeah. And just imagine, man, he just ran through. This spirit just ran through and just wiped out all the firstborn. No blood, got him. No, you know what's sad about it? You know some Israelites' children died too. Yeah. Come on, man. You know Israel's rebellious. You know there was some niggas that didn't believe. Right. Like, blood? Nigga, I'm not trying to get my hands dirty. Yeah, right. I ain't got no hyssop. Oh, let me borrow some of your blood. Yeah. Let me borrow some of your hyssop and blood. Right. Lazy Israel that when they woke up, if they had a firstborn, that firstborn was gone. Right. Man and beast. Right. And it was Yahweh Shai. He said, listen, this is what you do. Right. Set that sign, right? Seal your house, basically. Set that mark. Right? Right. You didn't set the mark? Guess what? Go through the city and smite. Right. Young and old. Like it says in Ezekiel. Yeah. Man, you gotta see, man, how history repeats itself. I'm gonna read here. I'm not gonna read here. It's all good. But yeah, you can read that Wisdom of Solomon. You could actually start, well, we don't have to, but you can start at the 6th verse and read down. You can read down and it just goes into them striking the blood posts. The posts of the blood, and you know, we started at verse 14. For while things were in quiet silence, Yahweh Shai, man, it's scary, spooky. Right. Scary. Right? Where you at? Jump back. I didn't want to miss that part. That's one of my favorites.
Exodus 12, verse 36.
Right.
And the Most High gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Yasharal journeyed from Ramesses to Sukkot, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children, and a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
And then there were some Egyptians that believed. Right. So there was a mixed multitude that went with us. Some of the Egyptians saw what was up. They were like, whoa, wait a minute. Pharaoh's tripping. This nigga's off. I'm rolling with these Hebrews. Right. I mean, as simple as that. People grab hold of him that is the skirt of him that is a Jew. They've been doing that since the beginning of time. Because the same way we saw the destruction, so did they. Anybody in their right mind, it don't matter nation or not, you gonna recognize the Most High. When you read about, when you read about Moses' father-in-law, he recognized the Most High. Jethro, he did sacrifices to the Most High.
Yeah.
Right? He recognized, he said that the Most High was the one true God.
Right.
Right? He was a descendant of Abraham, but he was technically a nation. So, you know, if your eyes were open and you were seeing clearly what was going on, any man that was trying to save his life was like, well, I'm going to have to cling to these people.
Exactly.
So that's why it said a mixed multitude went up. We didn't just come out by ourselves. Go ahead.
Verse 39. And they baked unleavened cakes of dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry. Neither had they prepared for themselves any victual.
Right, they had that fresh dough. Not that dough that was sitting around. It was fresh dough that they made. They had to get up. They didn't have time for it to sit and rise and do all that stuff. Fresh dough, bake it right then and there. Go ahead.
Now the sojourning of the children of Yasharal who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of 430 years, even the self same day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Most High went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Most High for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Most High to be observed of all the children of Yasharal in their generations. And the Most High said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. But every man's servant that is brought forth, that is brought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof.
Right, so that's 45, right? Right. So you're going to take over. You're going to read to Exodus 13 and 16. And then we're going to jump to Jeremiah. Now you read 2. So we're at 12 and 46. Oh. My bad. Damn. Cold as hitting me.
Exodus chapter 12, verse 46. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry out. In one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad of the house. Neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it.
Right, and you know, all these things, the Passover, what did the Passover signify? It tells you right here. What did it signify? What was it a coming of, a foreshadowing of? What did Yahushua represent?
Sacrificial lamb.
He was the sacrificial lamb. He represented the Passover. That's why it was prophecy that even when Yahushua was put up on the cross, it said not one bone would be broken. Same thing here. The Passover, you were supposed to get it, not break the bones. It was representation, the foreshadowing of what Yahushua was going to come and do. You see that? You see how the Most High had things from the very jump? He had things from the very, you know, you read in Hebrews about all the different things that were a foreshadowing of things to come. And it all led up to Yahushua and the crucifixion. It all led up to the kingdom, the Passover, the Sabbath, all these different things were a foreshadowing of things to come. All right, go ahead.
Verse 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One loss shall be to him that is home born, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
Right, that's why we had, when we get into the laws, you have the laws of the stranger. You got the law. Part of this was the Passover, that you had a stranger among you. The only way he could eat, he was supposed to be circumcised. Right. He had to be as one of you, as one of us.
Right.
Y'all see that? So the Most High had everything covered again when it came to the mixed multitude that came up. It wasn't like we ate and was like, oh, you niggas is gonna starve, you dirty Africans, or you dirty whatever nations y'all are. You can only imagine if the Egyptians had Hebrew prisoners, had us as prisoners and slaves. They had other nations.
Right.
They was fighting with other nations.
Right.
They was fight, as we gonna read when we jump into Jeremiah. We gonna read about Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonian Empire, fighting with Egypt, wiping them out. They fought Tarshish, the palace. Damn, it's not coming to my head. No, the Tarshish.
Get them?
Because I don't. Damn, man. It's another Arabic nation, but they fought with the Egyptians. So you can imagine that the Egyptians didn't just have us as slaves; they had other nations as slaves too. So it wasn't just Egyptians.
Right.
It said a mixed multitude. It was a mixture of different people.
Right.
But they all, when they came with us, they had to roll with the Hebrew way.
Right.
You have to put down your filth, put down your abomination, go get circumcised, stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, stop worshiping El and Ra and Ramen and all them Egyptian gods, the bull. They worship the bull, they worship the goat.
Right.
They worship a lot of different gods in Egypt.
Right.
They worship the woman in Egypt. You have to stop doing your homosexuality. You have to stop all that.
Fine.
If you wasn't put down, and you have to do what we did.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 50. Thus did all
Phoenicians. That's what it was. Phoenicians. Go ahead.
Verse 50. Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the same day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Exodus chapter 13, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Lord shall bring you out from this place. There shall be no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib.
So you got to look at it. You got to look at, this is why the Most High said that this second deliverance, they won't even talk about Egypt. You got to see what happened. All the 10 plagues and all this stuff that led up to the slaughtering of the firstborn,
Right.
all this was the Exodus. It wasn't just that we crossed the Red Sea. It was everything that led up. All these 10 plagues and then the Red Sea. You got to see how much, I use the word effort, but you got to see how much care the Most High put into getting us out of Egypt. And if the next Exodus out of this wicked kingdom is going to be greater, I mean, come on. Yeah, the water. The water. You got to see that. I mean, and we read about it. The last days. We did the class. We got to do another one, man. The beginning of the end. When you do that, when you go to that beginning of the end class, and you talk about the wars over here, Yahweh Shai coming down from the east. They all turn and try to fight. They're all fighting each other. Then they try to fight Yahweh Shai. The angels are running around doing their thing. Right? People getting sliced in half. People getting beamed up into the chariots. Right? Getting delivered. And all happening in the matter of hours. Come on, man. It's like a beautifully. You ever watch? You know what y'all gotta watch a little bit of? Y'all ever watch like an orchestra? Mm-hmm. You gotta watch some Antonio Bocelli, right? You gotta watch that, man, because they sing behind these orchestras, and you got the what's the dude?
Maestro.
The maestro, and he's doing this.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything, but they're all just playing. Then he'll do that, and they'll jump in, and and everybody starts going, and it's all synchronized beautifully.
Right.
That's the Most High, man. He gonna be like, get him. Yahweh Shai, boom. This is gonna be happening. Pestilence, think about it. It's gonna be pestilence, earthquakes, all the things we talked about earlier.
Right.
Nation fighting against nation, literally. Bombs dropping.
Right.
Yahweh Shai piercing the sky. You pooping your pants. Right? Because that's what we're going to be doing. We ain't going to have no point. We're going to be sitting there like, oh my God. Like literally. Right? Angels running around just wiping people out. Yahweh Shai stomping out Esau. Stomping out this nation. Stomping out this. Stomping out that. You getting beamed up and delivered. And it's going to be all this beautiful orchestration of different events that are all going to happen simultaneously.
Right.
And all you can do, you ain't even going to remember. Remember, these things in Egypt happen back to back.
Right.
Boom, plague, stop, next plague. Boom, stop, next plague, next plague. Bro, these things, this next deliverance, it's going to be simultaneous.
Right.
You're going to be like, whoa. More than that. You probably, again, there's going to be a lot of weak knees, like the scriptures say. Your knees are going to turn to water. Right? Because of fear and just joy,
right.
if you're one of the chosen.
Right.
But this simultaneous events, only the Most High can orchestrate, like an orchestra, man, like a 100-piece band. Right. You gotta watch it sometimes. It's beautiful when you watch the maestro just wave his arms, right. And they know when to stop. They know when to go. They know when to come together. And then it's dope when you got two people singing to it. You're like, whoa, they know when to sing. But the maestro is what controls. The Most High is the maestro. And he's just, and he raises his hands and wars.
Yeah.
He lowers his hands and everything calms down.
Right.
Raises his hands and things get hype.
Right.
That's what it's going to be like. That's what it's going to be like. That's why it says in the scriptures that, man, we ain't going to be thinking about Egypt. We ain't going to be thinking about the rain. We're going to be thinking about, man, how great was this deliverance? Exactly. It's going to trumpet, but I'm bringing that out because think about this. Like, in my mind, this is the greatest thing I've ever read. This is the greatest thing I could ever imagine.
Right.
Like, dang, flies and boils and frogs and like just turning the water blood, like actual blood, darkness that you suffocated and died and you could touch it. So thick you can cut it with a knife. Right. Dad, he went through and wiped out the firstborn of everything that did not have the seal. Wow. Like to me, I'm just like, can't nothing be better.
Yeah.
Right? But then the coming salvation, it said you ain't gonna think about Egypt. I mean, come on, man. How great is that? Let's read on. I'm hyped. Yes.
There was a question on that.
What's it say?
It says, question for clarity. Exodus 12:43 says the nations can't eat the Passover with us.
Says unless they're circumcised. Says unless they're circumcised. Watch. If you read down, if you read 43, it says, shall no stranger eat thereof, but when you read down, it tells you how they can. Read verse 48.
Verse 48. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee,
right,
and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised.
Let what?
Let all his males be circumcised.
So this was the way they can do it. They couldn't just be a stranger and not be uncircumcised. They have to be circumcised. That's why we had the law of the stranger and different ordinances that pertain to when strangers dealt with us. Remember, mixed multitude came out.
Right.
So the mixed multitude went up. We had the strangers or the Egyptians and presumably other nations that the Egyptians may have had captive or that lived in Egypt. They came with us. They ate with us. They ate with us, but they had to follow this rule. So you couldn't just be a stranger and do your own thing like, oh, I'm a stranger, nigga, I'm keeping my custom, but I'm gonna eat this lamb with y'all. No, sir, you're not. You gonna throw on a garment? You gonna put a staff, shoes? circumcised first and foremost, and you're going to keep our ways. Right? So where do we end off at?
Exodus 13 and 5.
Finish up verse 38.
Verse 38.
Verse 48.
Come.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to.
And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised. And then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land.
Right. So when he was circumcised, he was as one that was born in the land. He was now worthy to keep the Passover. Read verse 49.
One law shall be to him that is homeborn.
Right.
And unto the stranger that sojourneth among you.
Right. So the same law that was for Israel was for the stranger. There was one law. As long as you were circumcised in the flesh, then boom, you fell under the law, is what this is saying. Verse 50.
Thus did all the children of Israel, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they.
Right. And that's what we did. That's what we did. Go ahead. Where'd you leave off at?
Exodus 13 and 5.
Go ahead, yeah.
And it shall be, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days, and there shall be no leavened bread be seen with thee. Neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Lord brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in his season from year to year. And it shall be, when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a beast which thou hast, the males shall be the Lord's, and every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with a lamb, and if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck.
See, at first, as we read on, we all see, but at first the Most High required that you give every firstborn of your males. They were going to be for the priesthood. But then he went and he said, okay, I'm going to choose the Levites. I'm going to deal with the Levites. And we'll read it later on. But at first he required every male. No matter what tribe.
Right.
You see that? So imagine he said, okay, well, no, I'll take the Levites. Every man got to give a payment or a shekel. I don't want to misquote it. And we'll read it. We'll read it as we're coming into it later on. I think it's in Numbers. Or it might be even here in Exodus, but that's what he required at first, was the firstborn of every male. Animal and person. Right. So imagine you have to give up everyone had to give their firstborn up to the Most High for getting us up out of Egypt.
Number 3 and 12.
Is it Numbers? Right. There it is. Right on point. Read that. You got it? Read it, John. Read it. Yeah, you got it. You pulled it.
And Numbers 3 and 12.
Go ahead, stand up and read.
And I, behold, I have taken the Levites from among the children of Israel instead of all firstborn that opened the matrix among the children of Israel.
Right.
Therefore, the Levites shall be mine.
Right on point. Read on. Watch. This is why. Read verse 13.
Because all the firstborn are mine, for on the day that I smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I hallow unto me all the firstborn in Israel.
Right?
Both man and beast, mine shall they be. I am the Lord.
Right. So instead of taking all the firstborn of every male, he said, you know what? I'm going to hallow to myself the Levites. We'll do it like that. Well, I'll just take a tribe. Instead of having to get y'all's firstborn and get y'all all up, riled up in your minds, all riled up in your spirits. Because that's what it would have been. Niggas wouldn't want to give up their firstborn. They would have stopped having kids.
Right.
Oh, selfish ass Israel. They would be like, well, I ain't having kids if I got to give them up. Come on now. Come on now. William, am I making it up? We know damn well, man, Israel would have been like, well, I ain't having kids unless I know it's a girl. Because they wouldn't want to give their children to their firstborn son to the Most High. It tells you the strength. Why not? Because when we read it in Genesis about who was Jacob's firstborn, it was Reuben. Right. He said Reuben is the strength. Right? The firstborn son, that's your strength. That's your vigor.
Right.
Like, ain't nobody gonna be as vigorous as this guy back here.
Right.
No.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is just everywhere. No other son that comes is gonna be on his turn-up level. Right. Right? On his level of just go get him.
You're right.
Because the firstborn is the strength. And it's like, I gotta give him up. Dang. So he said, you know what? I'll take the tribe of Levi, y'all keep y'all firstborn.
Right.
Save y'all some of the heartache. Most High knew, man. He knew what was in the hearts of man. He said he knows what's in the hearts of man. Where we at?
Verse.
So
14.
Dolly, I had a question. I think it was pertaining to what Mustafa had asked, but he said, "What about females?"
What about them?
I think when he asked a question about the 12 and 43 of the nations eating Passover with us. And
right.
I think he said, "What about females?" He was talking about Mustafa's question. When you say, "Can they eat with us during Passover?"
Man, y'all want to get super technical, huh? I mean, it don't say nothing. It doesn't say. It talks about the males being circumcised. I would imagine. I mean, we'd have to go through and look. I can go through and look. But I mean, it says the stranger, right? Now, were the strangers only going to be males? Nah. So obviously the women had to conform to the Hebrew custom also. I mean, we don't circumcise women, right? But what do? They got to throw on a head wrap, and they got to throw on a modest apparel, right? They probably have to serve the men. So yeah, I mean, it don't give you because only men were circumcised. So that was the ultimate obeisance for a man, was to be circumcised in his flesh. That's right. For a woman, what was her ultimate? She had to be subservient to a man. Right. So that's what they became. They just became servants. Right. They could sit down and eat too, but they had to. I don't know if y'all know I'm in class. Y'all call them. They had to cover their head, throw on a dress, take off the Egyptian spandex, right? Take off the Canaanite Lululemons, right? Take those off, put on a hair wrap, and be humble. Serve the men. That was their ultimate. I mean, you got to just look at it. The circumcision was a man's ultimate piety, as far as showing something outwardly fleshly. I'm gonna circumcise my flesh. That was like the ultimate piety to the Most High. Obviously, we know it's not about the flesh. He said, circumcise the foreskins of your heart. But as a stranger, this is how you showed. Remember, think about it. When Simeon and Levi, when they went through and they said, listen, circumcise your flesh and you'll be as one of us. That was the ultimate way to show I'm going to do the Hebrew way. was to get this circumcision. For a man, for a woman, they had to just be humble, hair wrap, skirt, you know. And there's other laws going as we get more into Deuteronomy. But yeah, there was women that was there.
Right.
They just had to follow the custom of what the women were doing,
Right.
which was don't try to usurp authority.
Right.
What did Sarah do? It said when she seen, she lighted off the camel, she wrapped her face to show respect. That's what that was about. So that's what they had to do. You don't say it, but I mean, imagine a mixed multitude and it was just guys. It said it was a mixed multitude. We know that men were circumcised, women weren't.
Right.
We didn't do the circumcised women. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was a thing.
What, to circumcise women?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ham does that.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, they be doing that in the backwoods.
Step off the clitoris.
In the backwoods of them African tribes.
Yeah.
Ham, bro, they savage with it. They'll cut off the clitoris real quick.
Damn.
Oh yeah, they do that because they don't want the woman to have pleasure. Oh yeah, Ricola. Need this. Anyway, let's jump back.
Rough.
Let's jump back. My cold is starting to kick me.
Exodus chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be, when thy son asketh thee in the time to come, saying, What is this? That thou shalt say unto him, By strength of hand the Lord brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. And it came to pass, when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord slew all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrifice to the Lord all that openeth the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of my children I redeem. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for frontlets between thine eyes, for by strength of hand the Lord brought us forth out of Egypt.
Can we hit these fans or y'all gonna be cold?
Okay.
Yeah, can we hit the fans? Please? Huh? Yeah, but I'm hot.
That's a good thing.
Sweating like an animal in here. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
I just don't want y'all to be cold.
And it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that God led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For God said, Lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, and they return to Egypt. But God led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea.
Right, so the whole time the Most High is like, man, let me cover these people from even seeing war. The sad part is, like 5 minutes later, we like, wait a minute, you brought us here to die?
Yeah.
If that was the case, he would have just took us right through the land of the Philistines where they were warring at the time. Now, he said, I'm going to take you through the Red Sea and not through the land of the Philistines because you're going to see this war and want to run back to Egypt.
Right.
Go ahead. So you got to see how the Most High was already thinking ahead. He already thinks ahead for you.
Right.
I'm gonna prevent you from even seeing certain things. You know, there's certain things, man, that if we did see, we'd be trembly, we'd melt.
Right.
And the Most High is like, no, I'm gonna be a good father, and I'm gonna try to shelter you, because he does shelter us.
Right.
He does to a certain extent until we get prideful and rebellious, and he's like, okay, well, you want to see it? You want to burn your hand on the stove? Go ahead and play with the stove then. Go ahead and play with the stove then. See? Told you. See? Told you. Right? It's like I've been trying to tell you, don't touch it. Don't touch it. But. Alright, well, do what you want. Oh, but how come you didn't? No, but I did tell you. I did tell you, don't touch the stove. You talking about how come I didn't tell you.
Right.
Most High, he tries to stop us from having to go through certain things, man.
Right.
But I like the scripture that Mashaba sent out there. Do no evil and no harm shall come unto you. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 1. Go ahead.
And the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. Verse 19. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel
Right, and this was when Joseph, before he died, he said it. Look, Most High is going to take us up out of here. Hey, do me a solid. Take my bones. Take my bones up out of here. So that's what Moses did. He grabbed Joseph's bones. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And they took their drink from Sukkot, and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness.
Right.
And the Lord went.
Okay, that's it on that.
Was it at 16?
Yeah, you end at 16. It's all good. It was getting dicey. It was getting spicy. Let's jump over to Jeremiah 16 and verse. Jeremiah 46 and 13. Now, if you're paying attention, just like last week, when we jumped into, I believe it was Ezekiel, it was prophesying the destruction of Egypt. Now, the destruction of Egypt happened, Jeremiah 46 and 13. During the Babylonian Empire, King Nebuchadnezzar, in the year 1605 BC. All right, there was a war of Carmish, I believe, at the Euphrates. And it's going to tell us when we read. Actually, it tells us further up in Jeremiah. But this is when the Most High, after he sent Nebuchadnezzar, ran through the Phoenicians, through the king of Tyrus, ran through them. Then he sent them on the Egyptians, ran through them, like made their land desolate, destroyed everything, pulled them up out of there. Because why? The pharaohs, man, they was prideful as hell. They were prideful, on that. On that, we're the greatest civilization. We're the greatest civilization, and but it was a civilization built on wickedness, built off the backs of the Hebrews. Right. No humility. That same pride that this Pharaoh rolled with, all the other pharaohs roll with. So let's go there. Jeremiah 46 and verse 13.
Come. Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 13. The word that the Lord spake to Jeremiah the prophet, how Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, should come and smite the land of Egypt. Mm-hmm. Declare ye in Egypt, and publish in Migdol, and publish in Noth, and in Tapanis.
Right.
Say ye.
So Migdol, Noth, and Tapanis, these are cities in ancient Egypt. Migdol, I believe, was the actual capital of Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. We can look it up. But these are cities in the ancient Egypt. If you look at the ancient Egyptian map, you'll see Migdol, you'll see Tapanis, you'll see Noth, and then there's some other names that is called as you read down. So he's prophesying against Egypt and all their cities. Go ahead.
Say ye, stand fast and prepare thee, for the sword shall devour round about thee.
Read.
Why?
Ooh. Go ahead.
Why are thy valiant men swept away?
Right.
They stood not.
Right. Go ahead.
Because the Lord did drive them. He made many to fall. Yea, one fell upon another. And they said, arise, and let us go again to our own people, and to the land of our nativity, from the oppressing sword. They did cry there.
Right.
Pharaoh, king of Egypt, is but a noise. He had passed the time appointed. As I live, saith the king, whose name is the Lord of hosts. Mm-hmm. Surely as Tabar is among the mountains, and as Carmel by the sea, so shall he come. O thou daughter dwelling in Egypt, furnish thyself to go into captivity. For Noth shall be waste and desolate without an inhabitant.
Go ahead.
Egypt is like a very fair heifer.
Woo, real fat and ready for the slaughter. Go ahead.
But destruction coming. it cometh out of the north. Also her hired
It
men.
coming out of the north. Now, if you understand where Babylon was, I'm gonna do my map thing again. Ancient Babylon was north of Egypt. Right now, where is Babylon? What would Babylon be considered today? Modern day what?
Iraq.
Modern day Iraq. But it also went a little bit further up into the southern kingdom. It went a little bit up above Edom. Remember, we had Edom right below the southern kingdom. So you had Babylon, it kind of made like a upside down U shape, the way the kingdom was. And it went up into Assyria, but it did one of these, and you had Egypt down here. So when it said destruction coming from the north, the Babylonians were going to come down onto Egypt. So you had, I'm doing it, you had Egypt here, right? And you got Egypt, you got the Red Sea, and you come up and you got the land of Babylon. And Babylon did like a little horse shape. And you got Assyria, you got Edom, you got northern kingdom, southern kingdom, northern kingdom, Israel, Tyre, Sidon, Palestine. Y'all get it? Yeah, I mean, you can always check out a map, but that's where Babylon was. It was north of Egypt, and it kind of just went up. It made a big horseshoe type of upside down U, like a small N type of shape. So he said, destruction come from the north. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Also her hired men are in the midst of her like fatted bullocks. For they also are turned back and are fled away together. They did not stand because the day of their calamity was come upon them.
What did, you gotta look at this also. The Egyptians, they worshiped them damn gods with the bullheads, and it was likened, and it said that their gods wouldn't even stand. They were like fatted bullocks, but they couldn't stand. They couldn't stand against the Most High sword. Right? When the Most High was ready to set Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians, bro, that was it was a wicked empire, but it was a great empire. They had people.
Right.
It said it was one of the first empires to have at least 200,000 people in the kingdom.
Right.
It was large.
Right.
It was one of the first civilizations to get that big. So, Nebuchadnezzar, man, and all the different Nebuchadnezzars that came, there was more than one. They wasn't playing. The Babylonians, they had a lot of different nations that they took over. They had a lot of different nations that they took over that comprised this kingdom. So it was a great kingdom. So when they came up against Egypt, they wiped Egypt clean. Like how you wipe out a pot, and you try to get that last rice grain, and that last gravy. When you cook something nice, some chicken, and you try to get that last gravy, and you get a piece of bread, and you wipe that pot. See, I'm telling y'all how I get down. You wipe that pot, and you make that jerk chicken, and you wipe that pot. Or that oxtail, and you wipe that pot for that gravy.
Right.
That's how the Most High did Egypt, man. He said he made that land desolate.
Right.
Go ahead, read on.
And the time of their visitation. Verse 22. The voice thereof shall go like a serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes, as hewers of wood. They shall cut down her forests, saith the Lord, though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the grasshoppers, and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt shall be confounded. She shall be delivered into the hand of the people of the north.
Right, and going back to verse 14, Migdol was a border town of Egypt. They had the towers and the lookouts. So that was Migdol. I just want to get these places. And Noth, another name for Memphis. Memphis was the capital city in Egypt. So you can look that up. When you do an ancient map, you'll see it says Memphis. Right now, the capital of Egypt is Cairo, which is where Cairo is basically Goshen. Cairo is basically Goshen when you look at the map. It's right at the bottom of Goshen, or the bottom of that fertile where you see all the greenery.
Right.
When you go into Tiglath, a city in Egypt. Now, if you look up, you can look it up. You can look it up. It's still there. You look up, I looked it up last night on my Google Earth.
What's that? Your maps don't have it on there?
These maps, let me see.
Them are Lewis map.
Maybe. Depends on how ancient they are. No, because this one is more, let's see here. You see it? Yeah, okay, perfect. So, get this map for y'all. So I know I ain't tripping. I like maps, man. Right, so, here's Memphis. So this is Egypt, right? Egypt, Red Sea. This is the Mediterranean Sea. You got Greece and all that stuff up here. You got all that stuff over here. So Egypt. You got Ramses or Goshen, which is right here. You got Memphis. Okay? Tanis. That's also Tifahanis. It's the same place. It's the same place. And when you do a little map and you go, like Google Earth, they have they got burial sites and statues that were built here, up here in Goshen. All right, so you got Memphis, which was the capital at one time. Oh no, border city, towers, right? What else you got? You got Migdal. No, Memphis was the capital. Migdal. Let's see if we see Migdal on here. Succoth. Remember, it said that we came to Succoth when we read up. You remember that?
Right.
Came through Succoth. Let's see here. Great Pyramids, crocodile. So we went more towards this way. So if you understand the map, see you got Edom right here, you got Moab, you got Ammon. The Babylonian Empire did one of these. It came all the way out. Iraq and all that stuff. It came all the way out here. So the Babylonians came from the north and dropped down into Egypt. When they said they're going to come from the north country, they came down, boom. Right? So again, it's good to look at your maps, man. So you can understand what's going on. It gives me a better idea of what's happening. Right? So let's see here. You can drop that down for a sec. What else did it bring up? What other countries or cities? So the Most High is going through and just naming up all these cities. Just like how he did with Edom, right? What did he say? Bozrah, right? Idumea, right? Mount Seir. He went through all these major spots and said, I'm going to wipe out Esau. And I'm going to hit Bozrah, Idumea, Mount Seir. Like, ain't no stone going to be left unturned. The same thing with the Egyptians. Right. I'm glad you pointed that out. I didn't realize we had that map back there. Good call. Get everybody to see that. Where we at?
We're at verse 22.
Uh-huh.
The voice thereof shall go like a serpent, for they shall march with an army, and come against her with axes, as hewers of wood. They shall cut down her forests, saith the Lord, though it cannot be searched, because they are more than the grasshoppers, and are innumerable. The daughter of Egypt shall be confounded. She shall be delivered into the hand of the people of the north.
Right, she's going to be delivered to the Babylonians. So I'll take over. This is Jeremiah 46:26 to 28. And I will deliver them in the hand of those that seek their lives, and into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar. No, Nebuchadnezzar. Because you have Nebuchadnezzar, you have different This was Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of his servants, and afterwards it shall be inhabited as in the days of old, saith Yahweh. But fear not thou, O my servant Jacob, and be not dismayed, O Yasharallah. For behold, I will save thee from afar off, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And just like how the Bible says that this country that we're in now is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, right. The same destruction that we're dealing with now that we dealt with back then, the same captivity, the same slavery.
Right.
The Most High is going to deliver us. I mean, you know, when you look at it, it says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked.
Right.
And if Israel is scattered everywhere, dealing with all the different curses,
Right.
that means that everywhere is Babylon. Not technically, but spiritually.
Right.
Because if you're an Israelite in Israel, if you're a real Israelite in the land of Israel,
Right.
where they got more homosexuality out there than anything.
Right.
That's the land of the faggots. Like they like, yo, you want to be gay? Come to Tel Aviv. Come kick it here. We'll appease you.
Right.
We'll bend you over the table and we'll lube it up for you real nice and we'll, you know what I'm saying? Bro, that's the place to be. But my point is, no matter where we are, the reason why I'm saying that is because if the Most High is saying, fear not Jacob, I'm gonna save thee from afar off, he's letting us know we're gonna have to be saved from the four corners.
Right.
Again, there's nowhere you can run to flee. That flee doctrine, the new one is go to Ghana. Go to Ghana for what? So they can circumcise your women? That's what they do out there. That's they put plates in their lips and they do those type of things. So yeah, plates in the ears. So we're gonna run to Ghana for what? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He said he's gonna save them from afar off.
Right.
There's already Israelites in Ghana being oppressed. Why I gotta run there and be oppressed with them? I'm already oppressed here.
Right.
No matter where we run, we won't escape oppression. And we won't escape the hand of the wicked.
Right.
But no matter where we are, we're not gonna escape. We're gonna be able to be delivered by the Most High. See how it works both ways? It works both ways, but obviously you got to be doing what you need to be doing to be saved.
Right.
And be delivered and not be caught up under the curses, but we're everywhere. Right? So I'll finish reading. It says, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. We're captive everywhere. And Jacob shall return and be in rest and at ease, and none shall make him afraid. Fear thou not, O Yahweh, my servant, saith Yahweh, for I am with thee, for I will make a full end of all the nations whither I have driven thee. But I will not make a full end of thee, but correct thee in measure. So all the driving us to this nation and that nation and the butt whooping that we catching,
right.
But correct thee in measure. Yet will I not leave thee wholly unpunished. You see that?
Right.
I'm not going to cut you all the way off.
Right.
I'm going to whoop you, chastise you, but I'm not going to destroy you. Right? So, from there, go to Luke 22:7. Go to Luke 22. 22?
That's 7.
Oh, I'm reading 2, huh? How many did you read? You read 1? I'll read 2. It's all good. I didn't realize. Luke, chapter 22. I'm going to just read 30. Okay, Luke chapter 22, and verse 1 second. Then came the day of unleavened bread when the Passover must be killed. And he sent Peter and John, saying, Go and prepare us the Passover that we may eat. And they said unto him, Where wilt thou that we prepare? And he said unto them, Behold, when ye are entered into the city, there shall a man meet you, bearing a pitcher of water. Follow him into the house where he entereth. And he shall say unto the good man of the house, The master saith unto thee, where is the guest chamber where I shall eat the Passover with my disciples? And he shall show you a large upper room furnished. There make ready. And they went and found as he had said unto them. And they made ready the Passover. So what did they do? They followed the law. They followed what we read in Exodus. They didn't go make ready the way they wanted. We don't have, filet of lamb. They didn't do all that. He said, Yahushua said, go make ready the Passover. They did it according to what we read in the law. Behold, verse 13. And they went and found as he had said unto them, and they made ready the Passover. And when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said unto them, with desire have I desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of the Most High. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of the Most High shall come. And he took bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, this is my body, which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise, also the cup after supper, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. But behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me at the table. Why did he bring that up? What was his symbolism? What was his symbolizing? The blood, the bread. Huh?
The last part, when he talked about betrayal, he was talking about Judas.
Right, he was talking about Judas, but what was Judas doing?
He was sitting at the table.
He was sitting at the table, Khan. He was there, he was eating.
Right.
But he was doing it unworthily. That's why he brought up Judas. He was like, listen, this is my body. Obviously, he didn't break off his skin and give it to him. He didn't drain his blood. It was all symbolism.
Yeah.
But it was symbolism of the suffering that Christ was going to go through.
Right.
And that when you break this bread and when you drink this drink, right, that you were agreeing that you were ready to suffer too. But he said, behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me at the table. He said it, the one that dipped and that sopped is with me to betray me.
Yeah.
Judas was sitting right there dipping. Oh shit, good. Mouth all full, gravy dripping off the beard. He was there grubbing, but in his heart, I'm going to eat and drink with you, but in his heart, I'm ready to offer you up. I'm not going to go through the sufferings. Right. I'll kick it at the table.
Right.
Scriptures talk about a friend for their occasion. There's a man that'll eat and drink with you for his own occasion. He'll be there for his occasion. Right? But when the hard times come, nah, I ain't going to be there.
Right. Would Judas make it to the kingdom?
Will Judas, nah, probably not.
He done for good?
Well, not for good. We know that not no Israelite is done for good. It says all Israel will be saved. So, yeah, after we're in the kingdom and his spirit is regenerated into that good king, into that good spirit, yeah, he will make it. Yeah. But like right now, you think that Judas is like chilling in good habitations, like it says? You think Judas is chilling in Abraham's bosom?
No.
Hell nah. Judas ain't chilling in Abraham's bosom. That nigga is down there getting tormented.
Yeah.
He's getting beat.
Yeah.
Somebody Dracula.
He's like, yeah. Judas is down there, bro, tormented on. Come on, man. But at the end of it all, yes, all Israel will be saved. We're all gonna make it after we're regenerated. But right now, no. He's down there getting beat. He out there getting drugged by the angels.
Right.
Do the apostles know right when he's speaking what he's saying?
They don't know.
No.
They don't know. That's why I'm gonna read on.
Okay,
they start looking around like, what? Who is it? Is it me?
Yeah.
Wait, but I'm not gonna.
Guess
no,
who?
well, in the sense of like, do they know that what Yahweh Shai is about to be going through what he's gonna have to go through?
Well, he told them. Remember, he had to rebuke Peter.
Right.
He told Peter, like, listen, the Son of Man will be betrayed. Peter was like, not you, Yahweh.
Yeah.
He was like, bro, you got the devil, bro.
Yeah, get behind me.
He said, get behind me, Satan. Like, you have to check Peter because he's telling Peter what's going to happen. I'm telling you what's going to happen. And you like, no, not my Lord. He's like, bro, get behind me. You savors other things in the Lord.
Did he do that to like cause confusion?
Same thing.
We get it.
What you mean did he do it to cause confusion?
He started looking at it too like, I ain't never liked that dude.
Did who do what to cause confusion?
Yeah, I was no.
Nah, he wasn't trying to cause confusion. He was letting them know what it was.
Yeah.
He was showing them that we're all, he's showing them that, listen, we're all sitting here partaking,
Right.
but there's some that sit amongst us unworthily. Watch, y'all will get it as we read on. But there's some that sit and eat and drink and partake,
Right.
but they do it unworthily.
Right.
So this is what he was reminding them, that when you drink this drink and eat this bread, you better make sure you know what you're doing.
Right.
Watch. When we get into the next part, you're going to see. Where did I finish? Verse 22. And truly the Son of Man goeth as it was determined. So no matter what, the will of the Most High must be done. But woe unto that man by whom he is betrayed. There had to be a Judas.
Yeah.
But it didn't have to be Judas.
Right.
It could have been another man, but woe to that man. And they began to inquire among themselves which of them it was that should do this thing. And there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted as the greatest. I do need more tea. I do. Sorry. Right? And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief as that doeth serve. The greater thou art, the more thou humblest thyself.
Right.
The much is given, the more men give, the more is required.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father has appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom. Did I?
Which one says that?
For whether is greater, he that sitteth at meat or he that serveth? It's not he that sitteth at meat, but I am among you that serveth. Remember, he said the Son of Man did not come to be ministered unto, but to minister. So he's showing the greater is the one that humbled himself.
Right.
It's not about sitting down to meat, because the king sit down to meat.
Right.
Serve me. Pour my cup, servant. Right? You go to Texas, State, Brazil, and you put your little flag up. They bring you all the meats, right? And you put your flag down. And they put it up. They fill your cup. They get, right? You're the benefactor, but he's showing what's greater. It's greater to serve.
Right.
That's why he did all these different things that he did. He washed the apostles' feet. He healed people. He took on our burdens.
Right.
The Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. Right? Verse 28. Ye are they which have continued with me in my temptations, and I appoint unto you a kingdom, as my Father has appointed unto me, that ye may eat and drink at my table in my kingdom, and sit on thrones judging the 12 tribes of Israel. And the Lord said, Simon, Simon, what am I reading to? That's it, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Jump over to Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 20. So he was pointing out, man, that what was Judas's problem? He didn't want to be a servant.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a benefactor. He wanted to reap off of the people.
Yeah.
He wasn't there to minister.
Time.
He wasn't there to give himself. And how do we know? Because when they were talking about selling the ointment,
Right.
when he used the ointment, what was it, to wash? Damn, I'm getting my stories mixed up.
Yeah.
But they had used the ointment to wash someone's feet. Judas was like, wait a minute, we could have sold that for 300 shekels.
Yeah.
But the whole time, Judas was stealing.
Right.
He didn't care about getting the money and making money from it. He cared about putting money in the bag and lifting.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, he was a thief. So he didn't care about the servitude. He didn't care about the ministry.
Right.
He cared about himself.
Right.
That's why he pointed out, this is my blood. This is my body.
Yeah.
But there are some, he said, but there's one that's going to betray me.
Right.
Now as we go into Corinthians, watch, Paul's going to kind of bring it all the way in. 1 Corinthians 11.
20.
In verse 20. When you come together, therefore, in one place, it is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For in eating everyone taketh before other his own supper. And one is hungry and the other is drunken. What? Have ye not houses to eat in? Eat and to drink in? Or despise ye the church of God, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not. For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Yahushua, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. He took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, this is the point, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. So the bread, the blood, was the remembrance of Yahushua's sufferings,
Right.
his teaching, all the great things that he did in the ministering.
Right.
Because that's what he did up until that point. What did he do? He was on the run, no place to lay his head.
Yeah.
The foxes have holes, the birds have nests, but the Son of Man have no place to lay his head. If you go into the city and they bid you not Godspeed, dust your feet, boom, gone. If prophet is without honor amongst his own in his own city,
Wow.
right? I'm gonna heal this person. I'm gonna heal that person. He said he healed all manner of sicknesses, right? And said on the Sabbath, you went into the synagogue and he taught. So the bread and the blood was the symbolism of all the things he did up until that point, leading up into him being sacrificed. Right? So he said, this do in remembrance of all that I've done and I'm going to do. After the same manner also he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. Do ye as oft as ye drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show the Lord's death until he come. Y'all see that? Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. It's almost as if you do it unworthily. You do it without the love, without the charity, without the faith. It's almost like you might as well have crucified Yahushua yourself. It says, woe be he. What does it say? It says, no. It says, crucify Christ afresh. I believe it's in Hebrews. But he was reminding them, man, you eat this bread, you drink this drink. You try to live this life, and you do it unworthily. We're talking about the life.
Right.
The bread and the blood represented the life that Yahushua was living, man. That he made himself poor, though he was rich. He made himself poor for our sake.
Right.
That was the life. That was a representation, the bread and the blood, man. He was showing them, look, if you try to live this life, you better know what you're getting into. Because a lot of people try to live this life, and what do? They make the mistake and think it's a fad. They make the mistake and think it's about a husband. Right. They make the mistake and think it's about a woman. Right. They make this mistake and think it's about money. Right. You make the mistake and think that the kingdom of heaven is about meat and drink. Or raiment. Right? It ain't about garments and meat and drink. The kingdom these things.
Right.
Right? So he was reminding them. Right? As often as you eat this bread or you try to live this life, or you say you're ready to die for Christ, or you want to lay your life on the line, and drink of this cup of the Lord unworthily, shall be guilty of the body and the blood of the Lord. But let a man examine himself. That's why the scriptures say, examine yourself whether you be in the faith. Why? Oh, wow. Just burned myself in the throat. Ooh. Yeah, I should have examined that cup. Wow. Oh. But that's why he said, examine yourself whether you be in the faith.
Yeah.
Why? Because a lot of men walk around, women walk around autopilot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here doing it. No, you're not. You're not doing it worthily. You're doing it, your body is here.
Yeah.
Like Judas, his body was there.
Right.
He was running around with all of them. He was there without a place to lay his head to.
Yeah.
He was watching Peter walk on water.
Right.
He was watching the multitude get fed with the 5,000 loaves and fishes. Yeah. He watched all of it. Water turned into wine, he was there.
Right.
He watched everything, but where was his spirit?
Not there.
His spirit wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sisters. Oh, my sisters. Oh, my sisters. Y'all have to make sure that when you take this cup, of the Lord, and you put it to your, that you drink worthily, meaning that you understand your duty and your sacrifice is to the Lord. And that whatsoever you do it heartily unto the Most High and not unto man. And don't get caught up in, I'm not saying not to be submissive and obedient to your husbands, but first and foremost is that you got to do it unto the Most High. You got to do it unto Yahweh Shai. That has to be the first thing. So when you are being told, listen, that ain't right, or go here, do this, I want you to backflip, I want you to do a trapeze act, right, that you don't get riled up in your spirit, right, and forget what you do it for. Right. A lot of us forget the reason for the season, right? We forget why. Yeah. And now when you are doing, the reason why it gets aggravating and you get agitated and you get upset, and when things get hard and when things don't go your way, yeah, it's because you forget, wait a minute, I'm not doing this for man. Mm-hmm. You looking at man, say, go here, go there, do this, do that, and you get aggravated with man. Right. Brothers too. Right. You get aggravated with man. I'm guilty. I get aggravated with man. Right. But then I got to come back and settle myself. God. And say, wait a minute, nah, I'm doing this for the Lord. Right. I'm doing this for Yahweh Shai. I'm trying to drink my cup worthily. I'm trying to be found worthy that when I do drink, nobody can come back and say, man, you a thief. Right. You stole this cup. You stole this bread. That wasn't for you. Or you ate knowing that somebody else needed it. Right. We got to check ourselves. Let a man examine himself. And so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. So you got to first examine and say, wait a minute, am I ready to take on this cup? Right. Yahweh Shai had a cup. Right. God. And he prayed to the Most High and said, if it be thy will, let this cup pass. Now, ain't none of y'all's cup filled with death. Nah. His cup was filled with death. It was filled with death, beating, railing, ridicule, right, hypocrisy from the Pharisees. Right. We have not suffered unto blood striving against sin. Right? Like Yahweh Shai. We ain't nobody getting offered up. Your cup is not filled with, if you go out and teach, they're going to stone you. Right. Or if you stand up for righteousness, they're going to kill you. Right. That's not what your cup is. Your cup is be an example. When you drink this cup, you're saying that I want to be an example. Right. For my nation, for my children, for the other sisters, right, for the brothers. When I drink this cup, I want to be an example to my people. I want to be a leader. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But many drink this cup unworthily because they haven't examined and sat back. The examination is with oneself and the things around.
Right.
What are the other men that are drinking their cup doing? Sitting back? Kicking it? Hell nah. They barely get sick days. Right? You don't even get sick days when you drink this cup. That's why you got to get a cup of tea. Right? There ain't even sick days in this life.
Right.
Not because there aren't any, but because me, I'm like, no, I got to push.
Right.
And nobody said I got to be up here sick. I'm up here.
Right.
Nobody's telling me to go to class because or take a day. I'm here.
Right.
I'm trying to make sure that when I drink, I'm worthy. Right? Watch. Verse 29. For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. And that's where the destruction, the chastisement, the punishment, the torment, the lack of joy, that I don't want to be here, that I don't want to do this, that I hate this, I don't want to be an Israelite no more comes from. You didn't understand what you was getting into.
Right.
You didn't sit back and examine and say, wait a minute, am I really about this life? Am I about that smoke?
Ooh.
A lot of us talk a good one, man, but when it's time to be about that, right? He said they honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And this is what happens. When that heart is here and your mouth is doing this, the Most High is going to require. But when you can't live up, the damnation is what comes.
Right.
Here it is, verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you.
God.
Whew. That faint-hearted spirit,
Yeah.
that double-minded, that tossed with every wind of doctrine, that I don't know if I can push forward, that, oh, it's hard right now, so I don't want to go through this. Many are weak and sickly among you,
God.
and many sleep. Now, that's not talking about slothful sleep.
No.
Niggas die behind drinking this cup wrong.
Yeah.
People have died thinking like, yeah, I'm going to throw in a hair wrap, grow a beard, long fringes, and I'm going to throw out some Bible verses and I'm good.
Right.
But you got to live up to it.
Exactly.
You got to live up to it, and if not, the Most High, He's going to require. That's the one thing we all got to be nervous about.
Right.
I don't care if you're sitting up in here doing the computer. I don't care if you're sitting up here half asleep, sitting up in here dazed, sitting up in here listening.
Right.
When the word is spoken and it enters into your earlobes, your ear cavities,
Right.
and you hear it and you process it, you're accountable.
Right. Ooh.
You're accountable.
God.
So you're going to be accountable for what you hear.
God.
Now that you hear, you got to do.
God.
And that's where we get caught up at.
Right.
Israel loves to hear. Oh, yeah, tell me something good.
Yeah.
Tell me something good, right? We love to hear something. But we hate to do.
God.
Be doers of the word, right?
God.
And not hearers only. Deceiving your own self. Right? The deception is that I'm going to just hear a good one, sit back, and let everybody else do.
Yeah, exactly.
No, the Most High wants you to do what you heard.
Exactly.
He wants you to be an example. He wants all of us to be the example.
Right.
So, read it one more time. Verse 28, but let a man examine himself. So let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. What cup is it talking about? Yahushai's bread, Yahushai's cup, no other.
Right.
Not talking about the cup of the Egyptians, the cup of Kemet. Let me drink that cup of Christianity. Let me drink the cup and the bread of Jehovah wickedness, 7-day disadvantage.
God.
Ain't talking about that cup. Let me drink. Oh, I got my own cup, my nigga. I got my red cup.
Lie.
It's filled with my own drink. Don't ask me what's in my cup. You on your Lil Wayne tip?
Yeah.
Right? Don't ask me what's in my cup. I got perp in my cup. I mean, I got a cup too.
Yeah.
I got lean.
Yeah.
No, it said drink of that cup, the one that's already there.
God.
Drink of that suffering. It says when you partake in the sufferings of Christ.
Right.
Right?
Right.
For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. See, not giving a care for what Yahushua went through. Not caring that he was beat, beard ripped out, spit on, punched, kicked, stabbed,
Right.
hung up, strung up like a damn dog. Not caring those sufferings. Not discerning in your mind like, wow, this happened for me.
Right.
For your light affliction.
Right.
This happened for me to go through a light affliction to prove me.
Right.
I didn't have to get beat and kicked and prodded and beard ripped and punched to prove myself to the Most High.
Right.
I just have to go through putting off Christmas
Right.
and putting myself last. And he that loses his life shall gain his life. Right?
God.
For this cause many are sick. Many are weak and sickly among you. And that's physical and mental, man.
Right.
Physical and mental ailments. The scriptures say, humble thyself before thou be sick.
Right.
A lot of people don't got humility. Look at Pharaoh. He wasn't humble. The Most High put plagues on him.
Right.
He put plagues, and then the same plagues that the Most High, the same sicknesses the Most High hit Egypt, he hits Israel with.
God.
Humble thyself before thou be sick.
Right.
Right? And many sleep. A lot of brothers and sisters die
Right.
hearing the truth.
God.
Well, I was in class for 6 months. A lot of brothers and sisters die being in class 6 months. Being in class for a year, 2 years. But they didn't fall asleep in Christ.
Right.
Meaning they didn't die keeping the commandment.
Yeah.
They died what? In disobedience.
Yeah.
They died from a check.
Yeah.
They died from chastisement. Don't be one, but that's what it's saying. Don't be them.
Right.
Don't be the ones that come hear a good word 6 months. I'm in. Oh, Yaquam Yasha Allah. Right?
God.
Fist bumps. And then 6 months later, damn, what happened to the brother's song? I don't know what happened to the song. He was here and then he wasn't.
God.
What happened to Ricardo? I don't know what happened to Ricardo. He was just here and then all of a sudden he wasn't.
God.
Damn. Huh. I didn't even notice that he left.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't even notice that he left. What happened to John? Damn, what happened to that brother? What happened to that? What happened to the sister?
God.
Oh, well, she wants to go strip again.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, really?
Yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Your end is worse.
Your end is worse than if you knew the truth. You're absolutely right. That's why he said many sleep.
Yeah.
They ain't sleeping and they ain't falling asleep in Christ. They falling asleep and dying.
Yeah.
Just like Pharaoh
God.
died because of his pride,
Right.
his arrogance.
Right.
A lot of our Israelite brothers and sisters, they get the word, they get the wisdom, but then they revert back to what they were trying to get clean from.
Right.
And they sleep.
God.
You see that?
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
Nah, that's
I apologize.
that's a clean cut. Man, that was clean.
Any questions at all? Amazing how Christians willingly turn a blind eye to the pink parades in the land of Israel. The pink parades, is that what it's called? Damn. That's what they call the gay parades, the pink parades? Yeah.
Questions.
Yeah, like, if you got questions, Let's see here. Pink parades in the land of Israel, you know the Bible, Old Testament is very clear. Well, you got to remember, the law ain't for them. The Old Testament and New Testament, it wasn't for them. So they're not going to keep.
22 and 12, Luke.
Okay, read it.
And he shall show you a large upper room furnished, there made ready.
Right?
When they be using that term to describe heaven and stuff like that, is that because that was Yahushua's final Passover?
Wait, when you say when they use that term to do what?
Describe heaven and passing away, the upper room. Right? When Christians be saying the upper room, you going to the upper room.
That's what Christians say? I never read that.
What is it?
No, I never read that. They say that in the scriptures, or people say that?
People say that.
I've never heard that. They say that they say heaven is the upper room. I never heard that.
Okay.
But no, this was. I mean, in what? I gotta watch Life again. It's been a minute. Where we at? Luke what?
Luke 22.
12.
Luke 22. And he shall show you a large upper room furnished, there make ready. Nah, I never heard that. But I don't think that's equating. I never heard that. Like that's referring to the kingdom.
I was just wondering how they got the same.
Wait, the upper room. Well, even it talks about the Pharisees, right? What did it say the Pharisees liked?
No, I mean, I wonder how they equate this to have how they come up with that same.
Right, but think about this. Watch. What did it say that the Pharisees like to have? They like to have the what?
The upper room.
It said they like to have the upper room too. They like to. Why? Because that upper room you can be seen.
Yeah.
You see that upper room, that upper. It's like if you went to a sporting event and you sat in the box seating, the sky box. That was like the upper room. That was like we got prestige.
Right.
We got VIP status.
Right.
So he was saying, listen, man, we're gonna get the best of the best right now.
Right.
We celebrating, and that's why even when we do like the Passover,
Right.
we don't get no rinky-dink venue. Yeah, I mean, if brothers and sisters that have seen us host the Passover here, we try to get a top-notch venue that's clean.
Right.
On the inside, clean, good wait staff, and we try to make sure that it's nice because it's the Lord's Passover. So Yahweh Shai was just doing something, and the best of the best.
Right.
So it actually could be a twofold meaning.
I mean, it could be, but I never heard that. I don't hang around enough Christians. You gotta understand, I stopped going to church at 16. So that was 20 plus years ago. So a lot of the sayings that they use, I didn't hear. So, but yeah, I don't think that, I mean, it could be, but I haven't read anything to say that it is.
Right.
And remember, it talks about the Pharisees desiring the upper room. That upper room was just showing that, nigga, I'm a VIP. We got it.
Right.
We got it. We up here, we in here. VIP room, skybox. Everybody can see us. Obviously, Yahweh Shai wasn't getting it for that purpose.
Yeah.
For everybody to be seen of man.
No.
He just wanted the best for the apostles. It was the last meal.
Right.
Right? I'm pretty sure they had top-notch everything that night.
Right.
Wine was the first little pickings.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously, the lamb was on 10.
Yeah.
It was the first, so, he just wanted the best of the best. I gotta look more into that, though. This upper room. I gotta watch Life now. He said, upper room.
Upper room.
I haven't watched Life in a long time.
If we looking in the sky.
That's funny. That's funny. What else we got? Is that it? Wow. That was, let's see here. Kind of Ezra was shown the other day. Said weak in the spirit. I spoke with a woman from a Hamite culture on the female circumcision thing, female genitalia mutilization. From Ham's perspective, the men, a woman with a intact clit is more likely to be promiscuous. Many girls and young women bleed to death from this crackpot procedure. Yeah, they because first of all they're doing it with like a damn stone or a sharp diseased knife. That's the female genitalia was not meant to be circumcised. That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
Let's get that. The female genitalia was not made to be circumcised, and then they do it because they don't want their women to run around, sleep with other men. And they do it to take away the pleasure from the woman when it comes to intercourse.
That's so rough.
And when you really go into that, bro, they're doing that to like little young girls before they even hit puberty stage. Because, Ham was into dealing with little 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds. Hamites, they're into that.
Yeah.
So if you go back into this female genitalia mutilization thing and you really go into it, they do it. And then I'm going to hit you with this part. Because what they do, they circumcise them, then they sew them up. That way, when the man goes in to penetrate, it's a tighter hole for him to deal with. And he gets the pleasure, but she don't get no pleasure. A lot of these women, they die going through that. So yeah, we didn't do that, man. We definitely, you'll never read a scripture talking about female circumcision.
That's so crazy.
That's the nations. That's why the Most High said, do not the things that you see in Egypt. Don't do what the Egyptians do. Don't do what the land of Canaan does. Don't do what the Hamites do. Wipe them out. Don't eat that soup. Right? Don't marry their women. Don't marry their sons. Because he didn't want that filth to be intermingled into Israel. That's what they were about. You think that female circumcision that started like in the 80s? Bro, they've been doing that for centuries. That ain't nothing new. All the things that there's nothing new under the sun.
That's right.
They say online it's also a practice in Asia and Middle East too. That they do that out there.
They do that. They have the one where they put the little Asian chicks in a pair of shoes this big. Like every little Asian is a size 2. Wow. Oh, you haven't seen that where they break their feet and stuff them inside the little wooden shoes and their feet don't grow? They keep their feet small. I forget why they do it.
I think also
they keep them small, but I forget the reasoning.
I think also for the prestiginess of it,
like small feet are beautiful or something. And when they take them out of the wooden clog, they put them in the girdles.
Yeah, they break their ribs.
Break their ribs, keep them skinny. They're tradition, bro. That's why it says the customs of the heathen. Jeremiah 10:1 says the customs of the heathen are vain. Watch, get that real quick. And somebody look up that Japanese where they break their feet. Read that, Jeremiah 10:1.
Jeremiah chapter 10 verse 1.
Right.
Hear ye the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you.
Go ahead.
O house of Yasharallah.
Right.
Thus saith Yahweh.
Right.
Learn not the way of the heathen.
He said, learn not their ways. The circumcision of women, breaking the little Japanese women's feet, throwing them in girdles, squeezing them. They got 2-inch waists. Yeah. Those things are heathenistic and vain.
Yeah.
What's the profit of putting your woman's feet in a pair of shoes to where her feet can't grow?
None.
She's 5 feet tall, but she got 3-year-old feet. Damn. She wear a size 2 wide.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
2 wide.
2 wide. That's 2 in youth. That's before a size 1.
Golly, man.
But they do it. They do it because of vanity and beauty. Watch, read on.
God. And be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
Right.
For the heathens are dismayed at them.
Go ahead.
For the customs of the people are vain.
The customs of the people are vanity.
God.
Nothingness.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything on that Japanese? Breaking on the feet?
It's called foot binding, and it was done in China. Foot binding was the custom of applying tight binding to the feet of young girls to modify the shape and size of the feet. The practice possibly originated among class course dancers during the 5 dynasties of 10 kingdoms. Going on.
So they did it for dancers.
Foot binding eventually spread most social classes by Xing's dynasty, and the practice finally came to an end. But bound feet were at one time considered a status symbol as well as a mark of beauty.
Right. The customs of the people are vain. They did it for beauty. The same thing with female circumcision. It was for, let me take away her pleasure so that she ain't going to run around and cheat on me. How about if you just teach her?
Yeah, God.
But see, when you have no wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, what you going to teach? When there's no consequences for your action,
right.
What you going to teach? Man. So now you got to cut off the clitoris to punish the woman before she even lays with you?
Yeah.
Or any other man?
Right.
Because they did it before she even lay with any man.
Right.
When you get into that custom. But cats want to run around talking about we kept it. Where at?
Yeah.
Cats want to run around talking about Konnichiwa and Hotep.
No,
like,
sir.
I gotta stop it, man.
That's right.
Unless you're gonna keep up their customs, bind your feet and genitalia mutilation.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Right. So remember, the scriptures tell us, man, don't do as the Egyptian. Yeah, Chinese people, Japanese people, status, all about status.
Right.
All about their vain, carnal outlook on things. You see, an elderly woman will go from multiple homes. Wow. Here go Aggie student dropping that heat. An elderly woman will go from multiple homes, sometimes using a slightly rusted razor, using the same blade to circumcise multiple females. Yeah, it's not sanitized, nothing. Not that it even makes it any better, but damn, at least put some heat on the blade.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. But then these people die. They bleed out.
Yeah.
They bleed out. They die of. If you got rust, what do you get? When you get rust, tetanus.
Yeah. Oh.
You said what?
Domain poison.
How? What poison?
Domain poison.
That's what it's called.
Tetanus.
Tetanus. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all different places, different. Same thing, right? Tetanus, right? You get all these different diseases, but I mean, hey, when you roll around with no wisdom, when you roll around with no understanding, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna circumcise women.
Right.
When you have no law, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna bind women's feet.
Right.
What other weird customs do they have? I can't even think of none.
Hey, all praises I can leave.
Oh, the Africans get stretch the neck.
Yeah.
That's a sign of beauty.
Yeah.
They put the thing and they stretch your neck all the way up. Yeah. Oh, I mean, they do it. You know what they do in India? I'll give you one in India. This is what they do. They tie weights. The men, they tie weights to their penises to stretch them out. Yeah.
No, that's so weird.
No, it's not. It's retarded.
God, yeah.
They walk around. They would tie weights to their genitalia to make it longer. But then they would end up catching they would end up cutting off the circulation.
Exactly.
So it wouldn't even work.
Yeah.
Right? They catch the elephantitis. There's a lot of different things that will come with that folly.
It's retarded.
What else they got? There's so many different, but that's why it says the customs of the heathen are vain.
Hey, but that one where they put that big
The plate in their lip, signs of beauty, the plate in the ears.
Yeah.
Right? They put the veins. How you putting studs under your skin looking like Killmonger?
Yeah.
Right? You got people that walk around looking like Killmonger.
Yeah.
They put the studs under their skin. And then Americans, dumb Americans, they run around doing it now.
Yeah.
And then dumb Judite women, retard women,
Right.
will have the Marilyn Monroe dot, but it'll be a piercing coming from their cheek.
Yeah.
Come on, man. For what? What you do? Yeah, but see, it's a custom of the heathen. It's vain. There's no profit.
God.
There's no profit. You start boring your skin like that, you have people that break out with infections.
Exactly.
From piercing their lip and piercing their tongue.
Right.
There was a time when you pierced your tongue, what happened? If they hit too close, they had to do it like crookedly, because if they hit you in the middle, they paralyze your face.
Right.
There's a vein that goes down your tongue, but all the veins run. But if they hit you down the middle, it will paralyze you.
Right.
So they have to pierce your tongue to an angle.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If I got to do all that, I don't need it.
I don't need
I don't need that.
No.
Give me a quick nose pierce, ear pierce, I'm good.
Yeah.
Took 2 seconds. Pop, pop, gone.
Yeah.
Hurt like hell, but I was gone.
I was just going to say, when I was coming up, my dad always said, if the good Lord didn't give you no holes, you ain't getting there.
Yeah, I mean, but the things that people do for beauty,
That's right.
the vanity of beauty, man.
Right.
Anyway, let's see what else.
That's right.
So we can get up out of here. I'm suffering. They sold them shut because they got their periods and prevent them from having sex. Foot binding women in certain Asian cultures were also used to donate high status. A woman born into a house of wealth doesn't need to worry about manual labor like cooks, farmers. Beauty standard, right? Yeah. So we got that, right? Before we go into these prayers. Trying to push it to the limit. Nothing? All right, man. Another good reading. Remember, if you want to donate anything to the Passover, you can do so through the Google Wallet. You can mail whatever you want to mail to the school or to the Wells Fargo. Remember the RSVP, the link is in the description. Anyone that's coming to Passover, we're in San Antonio this year. Anyone that's coming to Passover, please make sure you RSVP. What does RSVP stand for?
Reservation.
But there's a VP at the end. Anyway, I've always wondered. I've always like RSVP. Make sure you RSVP. All right, that way we know how many guests we're gonna accommodate for. Make your accommodations, your hotels, your plane tickets as early as possible. We want everybody there. If you can't give to the Passover, if you can't donate, please still show up. It's not contingent on your donation. The Most High will provide. At the end of the day, we're gonna have what we need. We will have our daily bread for the Passover. All right. So if you can't give, don't feel like, oh, I can't give, I ain't gonna show up. Show up. Come through. We want you there to celebrate the High Holy Day. All right. It's coming up on us. Like I said, the sisters. I seen some designs for the garments. They're looking to wow. So when they get them out and they get them prices, y'all will know. They're just finalizing everything. But once they get that rolling, you see we're just doing things as it comes. RSVP, so we can know how many. Whoever wants a garment that's going to attend the Passover, please let us know if you haven't already. Very important. Yeah. And you know, we'll keep announcing as we go on. All right. She put the description in there for the Evite. Make sure you do the RSVP so we get a head count. All right. With that, let's Imadium Wapunya Wadum. Rise and face the east. Let me handle this. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Barakashah.
Barakashah.
Shamai.
Shamai.
Aita.
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 Shalach.
Shalach.
Vayaka'ala.
Vayaka'ala.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Hasamak.
Hasamak.
Shamar'al.
Shamar'al.
Kazak.
Kazak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Izar.
Izar.
Rapah, Magun, Kazak, Yasha'ala,
Yasha'ala,
Shalach,
Shalach,
much wisdom, knowledge and understanding, much patience and much faith, brotherhood, charity, spiritual powers, and forgive us of our sins. Shalach, Yahushai, Aita. For he is our hope. Bahashem Yahushai. The water. Damyad. Aman. Flip it. Read that.
Yahweh. In the name of,
he's going to repeat what I said.
Okay. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please listen to us right now. Send Michael and the righteous angels to watch over, bless, heal, protect, and make strong the people of Israel. Also send unto us much wisdom, much knowledge, much understanding, much patience, much faith, much brotherhood, and much love, spiritual power, and forgive all of our sins. Yahushai, come quickly, for in thee is our hope, always and forever. Amen.
Amen.
Barakatah Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai. Hawa'ah. Natanawa. Hatawara.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. that gives to us the law.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Adalanawa.
Adalanawa.
Awar.
Awar.
Lara'ah.
Lara'ah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name Yahushai, that gives us the light to see.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Adalanawa.
Adalanawa.
Ha'ayal.
Ha'ayal.
Korah.
Korah.
Ha'kora'ah.
Korah.
Ha'aim.
Ha'aim. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that gives us the ram's horn to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Hawa'ah.
Hawa'ah.
Adalanawa.
Adalanawa.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Zayath.
Zayath.
Lamashach.
Lamashach.
Yasher Allah.
Yasher Allah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Anyone that wants to be anointed, we can do so after class. This is Psalms 92. It is a good thing.
It is a good thing
to give thanks unto Yahweh.
to give thanks unto Yahweh.
To sing praises unto thy name.
To sing praises unto thy name.
O Most High.
O Most High.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
And thy faithfulness every night.
And thy faithfulness every night.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon the psaltery.
Upon the psaltery.
Upon the harp with the solemn sound.
Upon the harp with a solemn sound.
For thou, Yahweh,
For thou, Yahweh,
hast made me glad through thy works.
hast made me glad through thy works.
I will triumph in the works of thy hands.
I will triumph in the works of thy hands.
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
how great are thy works.
how great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very
A
deep.
brutish man knoweth not.
A brutish man knoweth not.
Neither do a fool understand this.
Neither do a fool understand
When
this.
the wicked spring as the grass.
When the wicked spring as the grass.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou,
But thou,
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
are most high forevermore.
are most high forevermore.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies,
thy enemies,
O Yahweh,
O Yahweh,
for lo, thine enemies shall perish.
for lo, thy enemies shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
All the workers of iniquity shall be scattered.
But my horn,
But my horn,
thou shalt exalt like the horn of a unicorn.
thou shalt exalt like a horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed with fresh oils.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
My eye also shall see.
My eye also shall see.
My desire of my enemies.
My desire of my enemies.
And my ears shall hear.
My ears shall hear.
My desire of the wicked
My desire of the wicked
that rise up against me.
that rise up against
The
me.
righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm
He
tree.
shall grow like the cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like the cedar of Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of Yahweh Shai
Those that be planted in the house of Yahushua
shall flourish in the courts of the Most High.
shall flourish in the courts of the Most
They
High.
shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
They shall be fat and flourishing.
To show that Yahweh is upright.
To show that Yahweh is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
And there is no unrighteousness in him.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
This is Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamalawath.
Hamalawah.
Latuad.
Ladwad.
Hana.
Hanar.
Matuab.
Matuab.
Mama.
Mamar.
Na'ayam.
Nayam.
Shabbath.
Shabbath.
Akim.
Akim.
Gum.
Gum.
Yahad.
Yahad.
Hashaman.
Hashaman.
Hatuab.
Atuab.
Al.
Al.
Haraash.
Arash.
Yarad.
Yarad.
Al.
Al.
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Aharan.
Aharan.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Alpaya.
Alpaya.
Malawathiwa.
Malawathiwa.
Katal.
Katal.
Haram1.
Haram1.
Shayarad.
Shayarad.
Al.
Al.
Hararia.
Hararia.
Tazayawan.
Tazayawan.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawa.
Tazawa.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Af.
Af.
Abaraka.
Abaraka.
Hayam Yum.
Hayam Yum.
Ay.
Ay.
Hawalam.
Awala. This is Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Amen.
Bahashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water.
The water.
From Yad.
From Yad.
Aman.
Amen.
Circle up. Jesus. Call it.
Akim Ayman, Barak,
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatham. Kum Yisrael. Kum Yisrael. Kum Yisrael.
Yadam Matzah. Turn to face the sisters. Right. Call it.
saluting out the daughters of Zion. Akim Ayman, Barak,
Yahweh Shabbat
Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.
Yadam Matzah. Dismiss. Let's say shalom to everybody online.
Shalom.
Shalom. See y'all back here Monday.
This is my grandson, one of them.
Bro, get down. Get down. Why are you up here? What's wrong with you?
We still fighting that good fight.
The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. In the name of Messiah. The Most High is my rock. The Most High is my rock. Yeah. The Most High is my rock. I keep my Bible on top. The Most High is my rock. No time for cut. And hit the streets and start cutting. The Israelites are bubbling. The Israelites celebrate Thanksgiving. You can keep the stuffing. It's pagan, disdain, it's vain, it's nothing. The European Union about to hit the button, and I feel sorry for you. All this bluffing. That's why I hit the booth and I tell the truth. Are you fishing with the truth? Tell me where's your fruit? If the High is your rock, don't treat him like a side piece. Come in this truth plan and treat you like a side piece. He's the God of mercy and wrath. So do you want to fly or do you